Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Comic Clowns Podcast. This is Bruce War Chief Hoover.
Oh, no, that's you. I end this.
Oh, I go next? Okay, Don Conis Macaluso.
And we like to welcome.
And I'm Kyle.
And
So
he
fuck
is
you.
Kyle. Yeah, he's Kyle. I just want to welcome everybody per usual. Hope everyone's doing well today. We are now, this is the 8th of November. Jeez, I have such a long week.
Fall went by fast for me. I don't know about you, but
You had fall?
yeah, fall.
well, the last couple of months, let's just call them that.
It's been a hell of a week because my whole company moved and it's been just a monster. How's everybody else doing? How you two doing today?
I'm here.
I'm well.
About all I got.
And for those who didn't hear the random voice come out of nowhere, joining us tonight, we have Chuckles.
Hello.
There we go. Good boy. Good. Yeah, you go. You can talk
He
now.
knows to answer to his name.
I know.
I'm proud.
And we got Carlos.
Hello, everyone.
Hot.
Oh,
See now,
God.
his mic, he's hot. I can actually hear him. I'm happy with that. Chuckles just needs to talk louder.
He needs to come down off that a little.
Yeah. I felt that one.
Yeah,
It's the
maybe
bass
lay
of
off, lay off the shaft a little. Back up. Back it out of your mouth.
I think he's got his phone too. All right, so tonight was supposed to be the first round of the horrible movie tournament, and due to scheduling conflicts with what happened, apparently Cheto had a wedding. We had to put that to the wayside for the time being.
How dare they not reschedule?
The whole wedding. They should reschedule the whole damn thing.
Right?
Who has a November wedding?
Right? I had a January, so
Then again, why aren't they
thought it
just
was
doing
his
the wedding
wedding.
in your backyard?
they could have just asked.
Right? We
So-
could have live streamed the wedding.
Oh, I would have too. So what's been going on? So let me do a quick recap of what I've been doing. I just got back with Don here from Anime Weekend Atlanta. Holy shit!
Yeah, that was something else.
That was a con. Holy crap! The drive was entertaining too.
Oh, yeah.
We ended up on my new favorite place in the world, which was Whiteside, Tennessee. Which I thought that was almost all of Tennessee, but
Racist.
very. It was incredibly. When you get up to an intersection and there's 4 churches, one on each intersection, and one's the Hooker Church,
Yep.
it's very entertaining what you find.
It was Hooker, there was a Baptist, the Friendship Church, and
It was
number 4.
I was dying. I was laughing too hard and trying not to die as we went around the frickin' bend.
Man, I want to see that softball team meet up.
The Hookers are taking the lead. So let's see here. So that was just a fun time. Guys, ever get a chance to look it up? It's really just a big event.
Yeah, massive. Like 33,000 attendance.
I just want. Let's see here. What else? My whole company did a giant move. So you're talking about the week going long. I'm wiped out. So I'm trying to stay awake right now while we do this. And then what was else? I wanted to talk really quick before we get into the meat and potatoes of everything, which is going to be BlizzCon talking and the prelims and picking out our favorites and then we also have to do one more thing, which is we're going to replace one movie and we're going to pick one of the ones off of the list that we already did.
Because, fuck Jason.
Yeah, that's it. No, pretty much for that night. It's World War Z. We're going to replace World War Z. You weren't there for that, but
Nope.
World War Z was on our list, and he brought up that it was a horror movie, and the way he spoke about it was he knew the source material, and then when I asked him about it, he goes, I read the book once like 10 years ago, and I'm like, so no one could talk about it. Shit. All right. We have to move on with that. So let me go ahead. First off, I'll do the one that I can talk about that people can't really do but me, which is League of Legends, which I'm excited for.
Nap time.
Nap time for Kyle. And it's the fact that for the first time in a long time, like all the Korean teams are knocked out.
That's definitely one in a million type of thing.
But here's the thing. G2, which is Europeans team, it knocked out SKT, which makes me happy because they have like the best player in the world, and it was some of the best matches I've ever watched. So this Sunday, the 10th at 6 a.m., which I'll be awake and raring to go for.
Of course you will.
Yeah, Fred won't let me sleep, so it'll be G2 versus Fun Plus Phoenix from the LPL, which is China. Which their whole Fun Plus Phoenix is a weird team name, but I'm entertained. I'm excited for it. I want to see it. I want to see a European team, a non-Asian cultured team actually win, because we haven't done that since like year 1, and that don't count, because that was just not a good year. Like that was just they were just trying to get off the ground and stuff. So that one's entertaining. And then I know, Kyle, I know for the fact that you've heard about the kid, and you brought this up to me since we're on like MOBAs and Battlegrounds, the millionaire kid whose life is completely ruined because he was caught cheating on Fortnite. And we ruined his life at the age of like 15 or 16 years old.
Who lives in a 16.8 euro house.
And we ruined his life because he was caught cheating.
Yep. He might as well just kill himself. He's 16. He's over the hill.
His mom was out there rooting for him. Like, you can't do this to him. And I'm like,
well, can you put yourself in the position of the mother?
No.
She's a horrible mom. She's lazy. She doesn't give a fuck. She's past her prime as a trophy wife. She's got limited resources, and this is her
but
shit
it's a
kid.
16 million euro house. I'm pretty sure he didn't pay for that, though.
No, I'm pretty sure he did.
Oh, he did?
He's one of the top Fortnite players on one of the top teams for Fortnite.
Oh, okay. I thought he was just a streamer.
No, he's a pro player. Which brings up the question, why are we letting people that young be pro players?
Wait, he's a pro player? Because
he's on FaZe.
No, he could be on FaZe. FaZe is one thing. That's not a pro player. As long as his mom signs the contract, he still doesn't participate in the actual team until he's 18.
13.
In Europe, it's 13?
No, in all of esports, it's 13.
Wow, because here in America, they don't allow people to do it. Like, okay, League hasn't done it because they've had to wait for everyone to be 18.
Fortnite is 13.
Oh my God, that's horrible. Oh my God, because when that game dies, they're gonna lose all. They're not gonna have any form of like.
I don't know what team it was, but they had a 12-year-old that they had signed because his parents lied and said that he was 13, so he could play on the team.
This is
because he was making millions.
This is awful.
You gotta love that their background check requirement is, yeah, we'll just take your word for it. Sure.
Right?
Damn.
I protest. They have to start carbon dating these kids.
Chuckles, what do you think?
I mean, my daughter can't even keep her phone for more than a week before she gets grounded from it. So I mean, I don't know.
Good job parenting, buddy.
I don't think kids are mature enough to actually handle that kind of stress. That's just my opinion.
I don't think they're mature enough to handle that kind of money if they get that good.
Well, and to be fair, I've met adults that can't handle that kind of stress.
Yeah, but do you think
most our generation
can handle it? They can handle the stress of playing because if they're to that skill level. But do you think the criticism and the lack of respect could have really negatively impacted
Well,
this
here's
kid?
the thing. They can handle the stress of playing. They can't handle the work-life balance around
fame.
it. Like, their education is going to suffer.
Who needs an
around
education when you're a millionaire at the age of 13?
Yeah.
Well, look at child stars. Is that could be a parallel?
Yeah.
Well, you definitely need education if you're going to be a millionaire when you're a kid, because I mean, think about it. A lot of adults who win the lottery end up like within 5 years being bankrupt. So
yeah, that has nothing to do with intelligence, though.
Yeah, no.
That comes from where you were income wise, like
Yeah.
wise. Like if you come from a well-off family, there's an innate like understated thing. Like you have to learn how to manage this well. This is your livelihood and like
book smarts means nothing.
But yeah,
towards
we're not
that.
going to talk about book smarts. I'm just talking about just like in general. It also, I don't know. I think being like that rich, that young is going to like literally just it's a detriment to you as a human being, because I can barely handle this generation now. I can only imagine like if I had to deal with kids my daughter's age.
Yeah, could you imagine a kid your daughter's age that could buy and sell you 10 times over?
Yeah.
How much fun would that be to deal with?
It'd be awful.
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be horrible.
I mean, At what point do they become the parent because they pay for everything?
That has to be some form of a contract at that point. Like
You would think.
How do you ground a kid that paid for your mansion?
No,
You don't.
there's laws to this.
You're still
The
the
Little
guardian.
Rascals
Whoa,
kid.
one at a time.
Sorry, the Little Rascal kids. As they were growing up, there was a lot of lawsuits even against the parents.
Well, that's child acting, though, and
Well, I'm
No,
kind
I-
of stemming the parallel that
I
they
agree
made so much
completely.
money.
he shouldn't have access to that money until he's 18.
No, not at all. Not at all. Mom and dad get access to that, and
Well, no, they shouldn't even have.
but you
access
should
to
be
it.
able to put some of it aside just for living expenses, and that should be it. That should be warranted under some formal law, like a proper.
Well,
No, if you're 13,
It's called
you
a
should
trust.
not need to have living expenses.
Well, for the
That's
parents.
called a
I mean,
trust.
yeah, trust.
I mean,
There
if
you
your
go. Yeah.
parents if your parents are put down as your manager and make a percentage of the money that you make, and
That's-
most of the money ends up going into a trust, I think that's how most kids who make that much money kind of handle it.
It's entertaining. Like I didn't
if
expect this
there
conversation to go like this.
Was a contract for that, but I've heard some of the details on some of these contracts. There's not. Most of the teams get like 80% of it. Some of these esports contracts are really, really, really bad.
Yeah, there was FaZe. FaZe had that argument. I remember
And this
that.
is a FaZe player.
I know which one you're talking about particularly.
Tifu?
Yeah, I know Tifu's argument. I remember that, but I've also heard FaZe is back forth with it. I've heard that whole argument. No one's in the right. So
Oh God, no!
nobody's in the right.
This is an entire new realm of fucked up.
Yeah.
So until there's a esports union,
Which
Well, can you fathom that they actually gave college players now the ability to earn a living?
yes, I can because I
okay.
asked for it.
well, no, the is it O'Bannon? The O'Bannon lawsuit, I think, is the one from back in like 2004, if not a little earlier. NCAA players now will get money for being in NCAA football, NCAA basketball.
Correct, that one
They
just
can
happened, yeah.
bring back those, and then they can start taking endorsement deals and stuff like that.
Correct, but there's only certain schools that will allow it, though. I know there was some form of catch to it.
No, there's no.
I thought there was. I know for the
Is it like a public school versus private school type of thing?
No, it's,
NCAA, yeah.
schools can only pay them with scholarships.
Scholarships.
So the starting quarterback of Ohio State can't get $2 million to go to Ohio State
Well, and-
from the university.
And let's be honest, when you're getting a scholarship, depending on the school and if it's out of, I mean, that's as much as like 40 grand a year you're getting,
If not more.
for free. Yeah. So you're getting.
Yeah.
It's not like you're getting nothing and you're out of pocket for this whole experience. Let's just.
That's-
No, but it's
That's
not
true.
just allowing them to take endorsements, Gatorade, Nike, take deals like that so they can make money because the rest of the world is making money off them. Why can't they profit from themselves?
That's true.
But
I like.
but you were talking
I
about
would
the whole esports thing, like from college. We were trying to get me and Jason, who we together on here, and a couple other people. We were trying to get that to happen years ago, and we got shut down on it. And then the school we went to was the first school to actually offer it. And like they're like, yeah, no, they didn't even remember us. So it's like, oh, all right. That's
Well,
cool.
gentlemen, there's another parallel in Europe, particularly for youth clubs, particularly for like where Messi and everyone else started,
Yeah.
where they're coaching these kids to be pro athletes, and before they get there, they do get certain commissions, they do get certain attention from sponsorships.
But the whole thing is school. They're already signed up to be a pro athlete. They're not in an amateur status. And the way that soccer works is a little different than
No, you're right.
the way, but it is true. They're signed at the age of 11 to already start playing professional soccer. It's stupid.
You're groomed at that point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
you
completely
are.
and utterly.
You're
Think about the Olympics. The Olympics, they start them off at like 4 or 5 years old in most countries.
Yeah, that's parents.
Well, no, that's to make the Olympics.
Yeah,
You're not
parents.
an Olympic. You're not groomed to be an Olympic athlete at the age of 4. You just
Well,
can't be an Olympic athlete unless you started at the age of 4.
Yeah, you have to be that
Yeah.
good.
Unless you're an Eastern European gymnast, and then they all are about
Well, that's in
between
their
6
blood.
and 8 years old.
Dang it, now I keep thinking of Simone Biles' the court case that's pissing me off now. Thank you. These are tangents, and this is fun. fun.
Yeah,
Did you
right.
hear about that, Kyle?
No.
Oh, so Simone Biles is actually being penalized because she's too good. And since her routines are so damn good, it's forcing other gymnasts to actually try harder and do moves that would be potentially dangerous to them. So she's being fined.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that was the
So much
dumbest
sense.
thing I have ever heard.
That's America.
Yes,
May I
it is.
ask, is she a minority?
Oh, she black.
Oh,
From
that's
Virginia Beach.
that sounds peculiar.
No.
Yeah, but we have to have an equal distribution of skill.
Yeah, of talent.
I mean, there is a parallel to that in motorsports, and yeah, we're tangenting all over this
Loving
place.
it.
But
Don't worry, we'll get to BlizzCon, baby.
in
That's
motorsports,
true.
if you are the team that comes up with some cool new technology that makes you win, they will just ban it the next year if it's that breaking. Like I believe it was
Formula One.
Chaparral.
Formula One.
Yeah, exactly. With the
Formula One.
fan cars that were just so good that they just had
Keeping
to outright
downforce.
ban 'em.
Yeah. Yeah.
Holy crap.
Well, and some of those are cost measures. Some of the rule changes are to keep everything competitive.
No,
That's
I
the
think the
person
best.
that's talking on this cast to
To subscribe.
to follow and subscribe.
Thank you, buddy.
Nice.
Thank you with that Twitch Prime.
You know it.
It's up there on the screen. I
we
love
go.
that.
No, that's true. But I don't understand the politics when it comes to particularly esports.
They don't understand the politics when it comes to esports.
Oh, I thought someone had to know.
No. It's seriously,
There's
Riot started a thing. StarCraft started a
So-
thing. Riot took it over and made it worse.
So this
I
all
thought it was
started
a-
with the ESRB with the rating system, and they don't want a government control. So still, it's all of this is on the developers and anyone that wants to start their own league to make up their own rules. Right now, there's still no government in on this at all.
Nope, not at
There's
all.
no governing body other than the ESRB for ratings and ratings alone.
And every
these
new
are
As it
factions.
industry.
goes on, it'll evolve.
So we're in the feudal system then, huh?
Oh,
Kinda.
completely and utterly for about another 3 years.
Well, yeah, every new
Oh.
industry kind of goes through this where you start off and there's no organization because this has never existed before. So it's going to take some time before we figure out, okay, what are the basic rules we're going to set that are going to be universal?
And it's going to be until our generation gets into political office and the people that actually understand what video games are and the culture of video games, of that media, to
I beg to
regulate it.
disagree.
Well,
I think they do understand it, but they need a scapegoat. In our generation, when we get to that age and that power structure that we're going to inherit, really, we're gonna go, okay, this is fine. We just gotta find a new scapegoat.
I think right now, because you're talking about like us getting into power and like the older generations. Actually, was it the Mark Zuckerberg or the Google conversation with the Supreme Court scared the shit out of me.
Oh, yeah.
If you watched any of that, the guy literally went, so if I take this phone and I walk this way with it, will it know that I moved? And it's like, well, yeah, if you have to.
You have to allow
You
it
have to
do
tell
so.
it to, and he's like, "But will this thing know?" I'm like, "Well, did you turn it the fuck on? Like,
They
did you
were
turn location?"
asking what a browser was.
I was dying. I was like, I'm so scared. That's like giving
I
up.
watched that too.
I think
It was pretty hilarious.
Philip DeFranco said that it was like
Yeah.
giving a. I know it wasn't Philip DeFranco. Someone else was like giving a infant a fleet of jets. Was
Yeah.
how bad that was. But like that's where we're at now, because like when you think about football and you think about like NCAA and you think about everything else, but that's all one organization doing football, basketball, all doing the same, all the sports at one time. But then you have like esports, you have League of Legends does their own shit over here, Rocket League does their own thing over here, StarCraft stays in China, and that's
Korea.
Korea, yeah. Well, China took over, jumped into that with Brood Wars for a while there. But like, and then you got like what Blizzard's doing its own thing with the WoW arenas and the WoW Mythic runs. Like nobody has a governing body. Overwatch League,
You know what it's
Heroes of the Storm
You know what it's
League.
gonna take?
Keep going.
is one like group is going to get together and try and have tournaments for each one of these games and create like an annual
Olympics.
tournament.
Yeah.
Right.
It'll be a
We're-
video
And
game
The
Olympics.
Olympics.
Well, no.
And imagine how
esports
much
are-
money they can make doing that. It's going to require a lot of money, but if they start that, I mean, think about it like when the NBA or the NFL started off, they had multiple different leagues. But then once they brought everything together, now, 40, 50 years later, we're left with one entity that rules them all.
One
So,
entity to rule them all.
The
Go
fun
on,
thing
Kyle.
about what you just said is Right
Bring
now,
them into the
almost,
lawsuits and bind them.
No, 1 second, Carlos.
right now, almost every NBA owner owns an Overwatch team. So
Or
it's
a League of Legends team.
Or a League of Legends team, or both, or
Was
other esports
I
teams.
forgot who owns. Like, it was a Cleveland Cavaliers that currently own Dignitas. Like, that one was just so sideways it came out of nowhere.
Mark Cuban owns a few teams.
Well, Mark Cuban doesn't own a team right now. He was talked about building one out of San Antonio because he was been on stage before. He never actually owned one.
I think he owns one. He owns something in Dallas.
Not for he owns Overwatch, but not League. My
Yeah,
apologies.
but Philadelphia
but
just
compared-
built like a $12 million esport arena. So, I mean, the sporting world is trying to invade and take over the esports, and that's going to become the governing body. So,
Oh yeah,
80-year-old white men.
Oh,
Got
yeah,
it.
That's gonna.
I
But
can see that easily because right now those teams that they're buying are like drops in the bucket, like money wise, compared to these NBA teams. So I mean, they're
Well,
just
yeah, I mean-
hedging their bets.
but
that's
Esports
the
players get
classification.
$75,000 a year, roughly,
Yeah.
on top of whatever they win.
of course,
I
they
think it's
al-
for the
ones that
advertising
they also
money.
get, like, some of them get free cars. Like Liquid,
yeah.
Liquid is currently being sponsored by the Honda Civic, and like I turn on Twitch, I literally see like them getting in and out of a Honda Civic, which they're all
Which what a mediocre sponsorship of a vehicle.
Honda. Well, let's see here. Cloud9 got sponsored by the fucking United States Air Force.
What if you get an
that one was a
NXS?
new
I'd
one
be
off the
Do they
content.
get B12s?
Yeah, they should get B12s. But like they're now all like they have the State Farm analyst desk for sponsorship from Riot. But like here's the thing, you're talking about like old 80-year-old white men. But here's the thing, you're talking about Mark Cuban, who's down for all this and he'll listen to people because he's smart and he learns all
Oh,
this.
no.
Mark
I
Fox.
respect Cuban.
Mark Fox, Rick Fox, Rick Fox,
Fox.
who owned Echo Fox, who still owns Echo Fox, which I think he had to get rid of somebody.
Former NBA player.
Correct. But he's literally at the arena in the crowd. When his team wins, you see him in the crowd high-fiving. He's not behind the stage. He's representing and helping the sports. And that's where people, I
We
consider, I
need
say the word
more
sport.
people like that.
Correct. I think that would be where we're getting to the point where the 80-year-old people are leaving and we're going to get
Hopefully.
the younger people that are coming in. And
I think that's already there. If you study and
Like,
look at SNL,
I'll tell you
they
one
did a whole skit for that.
I'll say one thing. TSM. Here was the big one. TSM is a franchise whole team. They're not owned by any NBA team. They've been around long enough where their franchise in. The owner is a guy who used to play, which is named by Reginald. Well, their star mid laner Bjergsen from Europe, who's been here the US for past 7 years, is now, just to prove where he's going to be, is now co-owner of that, so it wouldn't get bought out by another team or by an NBA team. They're holding that one. CLG is the same way. The old school ones. Now, the ones that are not as good, like Echo Fox, like Dignitas, like a couple of these teams that aren't that great, they're being bought up because we can pay the high price to get that Korean import over from overseas. Trust me, there will be, I think you're talking about Impact, C9 Impact. He got purchased out, I think he's on C9 now. He got a $1 million contract to come over and play.
Jesus.
It's like Ninja moving to Mixer. I've seen reports of as low as 15 million, as high as 150.
Yeah,
just to stream on that But it brings to
the
that
point is,
point. These streamers and esports players are getting ridiculous amounts of money, and it's only a matter of time before there's going to be a government regulation on it.
Oh, well, I'm saying, but for streamers, that one right there, that is a weird call right there. The Mixer one, that was Mixer saying, I want to be better than Twitch. I'll spend the money for that.
Well, no,
they're not spending money like that on everybody. Like Cutie Pie makes $1 million, but his is just a little bit of sponsor here. Let me get my subscribers. Let me get my donations. His is from the people. There's people that are like that.
But Facebook has bought some streamers. YouTube bought some streamers. Mixer's basically buying the FPS, the top FPS players.
I think they got a League of
They have-
Legends one, I think, too.
I know
forgot
they
who.
bought Shroud and Ninja, and Control went to YouTube, I think.
So weird. So weird.
It sounds like, if I'm hearing all of you correctly, that the real way to solve all this is Comic Clowns 2020. We're going to take over the presidency.
Yeah.
Who's 35?
Oh, I'm 2 years.
2024.
There you go.
Wait, time out. I only need 2022, so leave me.
Presidency's 2024. You can run it for Senate.
Oh yeah, I think 24. I'm one for Senate.
Bruce, I'm 35. I'm 35.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
No,
but I
thanks,
know,
Chuckles.
but I know your background. You're not passing.
Dude,
Me,
Wait,
on
I
the
can't-
other hand,
I could be a puppet.
I could be a puppet.
former nuke.
Let's be fair. Anyone who takes that office spot is going to be a puppet.
All right, but okay. So that is the wildest tangent I think of actual coherent thought we've had in a long time. Because usually our tangents are just like bullshit for like 2 seconds. That was actually long, and that's a whole other cast I believe on itself to even jump on.
That segment was supposed to be about a minute and a half.
Yeah, me just
No,
talking
it
about
wasn't.
talking about BS really quick.
Were we on movies?
We haven't
No,
gotten there
not
yet.
yet.
We're gonna get there. Don't worry. I swear, we're only 26 minutes in. We've got time. So,
Yeah, we still have another 3.5 hours of this cast.
Yeah, there we go. So
if history is any indication.
yeah, I got the beer for it. Brought to you by X Beer. You know
Yeah.
which one you want me to talk about.
Yeah.
Insert your label here.
Exactly. So we're still looking for the sponsors.
Yep. So
By the way, Twitch, Facebook, Mixer, we are open for.
Oh yeah, we are not above just
No.
cashing in on this.
God no.
you gotta be kidding me.
After everything negative we just said about financing in the industry, we'll take it. We'll take
I
the money.
don't think
Sure.
anything we said was negative
No.
about this.
I think it was
whatsoever.
actually
It's
more.
just-
It showed that we have a couple 30-year-olds in this room that are like, we have
I like
some
money.
ideas.
I just want to be in on the governing board to see where this goes.
Me too. So that
I just want
was
to be a fly on the wall.
that was my League of Legends talk for like
Right.
that went off tangent for a minute, and I forgot what I covered. So let's start this cast over. All right, let me hit the music.
Yep.
Let me hit the music. I need to get back
I
on
was
track.
Kyle.
It kind of goes back to sleep. So let's move over to BlizzCon because BlizzCon just happened, and I was trying to get my friend Dylan in on this because he posted something, and I know we're all still mad at Blizzard for what they're doing. I'm mad at the big corporate CEOs for the stuff that's happening in China and that really horrible apology that they never even, what's the word? They never even used the actual like event they were sorry for,
But they gave us Diablo.
which I'll get to.
So,
I'm not
yeah,
calling it damage control, but I'm calling it damage control, Kyle.
Not mad at Blizzard developers.
We have no beer in there, Kyle.
Mad at Activision Blizzard parent company CEO overlords.
But so they did that crap, and it just turned out like. But I was gonna be like, I'm not gonna play a Diablo game. I'm not gonna play anything. And then Dylan brought up a very valid point, and I thought about it for 2 seconds, and I'm like, that's a really good idea. It's a really good point, which was the developers and the artists that put in all their time to bring us these amazing things. They have no control over the company policies.
Exactly.
And they can't take this IP that they've been spending 3-4 years building, or for instance, 15 years building. They can't take that and go somewhere else with it. So if you're not supporting them at bare minimum, I may not support Blizzard, the CEOs, but I don't have a choice. But I want to show those developers that they've done such a fantastic job on what was going on. And that's, I think, where the conundrum then comes into play, because you'll have the people that are like, oh, fuck it, that's just a company. And then you'll have the people on the other side that are like, oh, no, screw them still. They know what they're doing. I'm like, they didn't know what they were doing when they were building Diablo 4.
Right.
They didn't know what the hell they were going on.
Well, and even from the game development side for all the people involved in those projects, and say what you will about the reports of working conditions at Blizzard, but yeah, they had no control over. And I feel like from a numbers perspective, I could see where, as a CEO, you'd sit there and think, well, what do? We've got a stranglehold on us by our biggest market. Not that I'm defending what they did,
I understand
or what happened, but it is a serious, genuine consideration to lock off. Now, admittedly, that the Chinese market is either 5 or 13% of their market share. So yeah, that's recoverable. A big enough company like that can survive, getting on the wrong side of China, and they'll live. But it is a major concern, and you have to wonder from that level, if you have shareholders involved, you are
Yes.
beholden to other people who don't want you to make a bad financial decision.
And think about that. You not only do you lose China, which is your big, you then have the people that don't know what the hell they're doing, which are your investors who are going, oh no, they pissed off China, and then they back out, and
Right.
you lose a whole bunch of market share. Now you're laying off all those developers we're talking about, or all the people up front that you're worried about. It's a downward spiral, and pretty much all they could do is go into chaos control. Now, Carlos, you had a thought on this that you and me were speaking about before, but you write fucking novels, so I couldn't read all of it. So what was your thought? What was your thought on this current issue before we actually talk about what was released at BlizzCon, so we can get the whole political landscape out of the way?
Yeah.
My whole viewing point, even being an investor and everything else, is that when I don't see something going well, I'm gonna yell out, speak my voice, especially because right now, even my company, Freeman, we're going into China, we're doing events there and everything else between, and that's something that even comes out to us going, hey, watch what you say. So I'm understanding that if, let's say, the shareholders, they riot, they want their portfolios to be diverse, they're content, and all of a sudden this wrench comes into play, they're gonna do as much like overhauling as they can, and that sometimes is eliminating people who properly care about what they produce. So if you're in that position now that, oh, I understand the circumstance happening, like possibly I may or may not agree with it, but I have people that are on my payroll that do great quality work that really shouldn't go anywhere else. I'm going to just, again, quality control, go, okay, we had to give a rubbish excuse and move on with it.
Yeah,
Right.
there was really no good way out for Blizzard higher ups because you have to do something, you have to respond, and you either make a lot of people mad, a lot of your fan base mad, by supporting someone they don't, or you support what the player said, and now you are, one, condoning political messages on your platforms, and two, losing a big market share. There was just absolutely zero good result for Blizzard for what happened, and it's unfortunate that it happened that way.
They even went against because I don't know if I said about this on last cast, is they talked about the fact that Blizzard, so that wouldn't happen again. On because America, like after they did all that, American college students came up and when they played their entire game with their webcam up, saying free Hong Kong yada yada on their webcam, and Blizzard couldn't stop that because they had their webcam policy. Well, their theory was at that point was we're gonna watch your webcam still, but we're going to blank it out on the screen, so any notoriety you had as a player, as a college student, is now lost. So we can't gamble with that theory. Because I go back and I watch, like I go to bed and like Collegiate Hearthstone's going on, and I need something a little droll to listen to. Because I watch, and that comes on, I click on it, and then I'm used to seeing like three nerds, and they have something funny behind them, or one guy couldn't show up that night, and they put a cardboard cutout with him with like a balloon in his hand as a joke. Aww. But they couldn't show that anymore because they couldn't risk them coming out with a free Hong Kong sign and then costing them more money.
Yeah.
And you know what, that sucks. But that's people standing up for what they believe in and them taking it to the platform that they currently have. That's like us sitting here on this platform that I have, or going to my CFF events and doing that. But I also know what's right place, wrong time. Like we're in Anime Week in Atlanta. Yep. We didn't bring it up. Right. I mean, it's just I'm not going to talk about it. It wasn't a topic of conversation at that point. I'm at an anime convention. I'm assuming they're all on board.
Right.
I mean, if it's your personal platform, go for it.
Like this.
They're not on their personal platform. I'm okay with the punishment.
Oh yeah, no, I get it.
Whatever platform you're using, whether it be Twitch or a game specific platform, you have to follow the rules.
Well,
that's something different.
That's something different completely.
That's something different completely. I'm sitting on Twitch.
What I'm saying is,
and I can say it.
Even on Twitch, it's not like you can go up here and start making adult movies. You still have to follow the rules.
No, for that in particular.
Watching some of those female gamers, some might disagree.
Excuse me, I have to delete some things.
But I can make a statement right now about, fuck Blizzard, free Hong Kong, and nothing's going to happen to me. They were they were on Hearthstone, owned by Blizzard's company page at that point. They had to follow those rules.
Right.
That's a whole other story. Totally, completely different is what we're talking about. Like that right there.
For sure, I know.
They were being hired by that. So,
Yeah, you are at the behest of who signs the paycheck.
Exactly. Which or gives you sponsorships,
Right.
or like allows you into their tournaments, or
Yeah, and
Yada,
it's perfectly within their right to say we don't appreciate what you did. We're not going to pay you anymore. Just like
we're
any
not
other
going to
job.
have you in our league anymore, or have your school. We're going to cut your school from being in our thing, which is going to cost you your sponsorship.
Right. There's a parallel again to what we saw in, well, going back to professional sports with the NFL and kneeling during the anthem. Yes, you're making a political statement, but if the people who sign your
the wrong
paychecks say
platform.
that's not okay,
It's not your. Yeah, that wasn't your. That was the only. I can understand that that's your way of doing it, and you took that risk. Accept the risk that you were going
Exactly.
for. Now, if he would have just done that on his Facebook page, that probably wouldn't have been as bad.
sure.
But that was in the middle of the NFL.
Yeah. Now, I will say major props for taking a stand for something you believe in.
If you have the, I agree with anybody. If you have the opportunity to make a non-violent, non-political, or non-like damaging stand, go for it. So the collegiate people, awesome. The people in China who did it, awesome. People kneeling during the anthem. I'm a veteran. We've had that discussion on this thing before.
Right.
It doesn't
don't
hurt.
give a
It
fuck.
doesn't hurt my
Right.
fucking feelings. So anybody who says it's veterans who are getting angry, it's a select few. All right, let's get that out of the way.
Yeah.
Veterans did.
But
There's a
but you
select-
you accept the responsibility.
There's a select few of veterans that do that. As my lovely wife walks downstairs to go to our fridge.
You know you're breaking the rules of the platform, and you accept the responsibility of what could happen. It's unfortunate. Sometimes it's way more of a reaction after the fact than it should have been, because I think Blizzard was probably a little strong-armed with their response. But as I understand, they've rolled it back a bit, and
No, they
it's
did. It went from 12 months to 6-month ban, and they did give the winnings back.
Yep.
right.
Awesome.
At least they'll be fickle. I mean, I honestly will say, gentlemen, that this will pass. This will pass. Over.
Everything passes.
Yeah, but it's gonna be fickle and quick. Like the next big thing is gonna happen, and no one's gonna care about what happens to the people renting in Hong Kong.
Right. Well, in the age of social media, social issues pass quick.
All right, and now that we've discussed our feelings on what was going on there and what they've done, let's talk about damage control. I mean,
No.
Diablo 4. Go on,
No,
Kyle.
I'm gonna.
I thought we were gonna
this
go
wasn't
on
damage
bank
control.
Session next.
With how much work they put into
Oh,
the
yeah. No, that was
trailer,
that was a joke. People had put it out there as
I know,
damage
and those
control.
people piss me off.
Ah, okay.
This wasn't fucking damage control. This was planned. I'm surprised that Diablo 4 is going to be current gen,
That one was different. I did not expect that either.
but that, with how much work goes into that, that's not damage control either.
That's actually, and plus that
Th-
game's
this-
not too hard to port when you're done.
No. This was all planned out. It might have got a little longer time and shown off more than they wanted to, but
Like Tracer Booty and Tracer touching Bridget and everyone else in the Overwatch 2 thing, which made all the nerds go nuts.
yeah.
Well, it doesn't
know
doesn't
anything
take much
about
doesn't take
Overwatch.
much to make nerds go a little nuts.
They put the Tracer Booty back. That's all I know.
Well.
That's what I got. That's if Sunny Sama's Facebook has taught me anything, they put the Tracer Booty back.
Apparently everyone in Overwatch got haircuts.
I still actually that's something I wanted to bring up because
You got to stay fresh.
so they did bring up Overwatch 2. And now let me bring that up. Overwatch, maybe you don't know, is a MOBA. It's an FPS MOBA. And
I'm probably the only one here who has not played this game.
No, you're not.
No, you're
haven't
not.
played it.
I
haven't
played the
Okay.
beta because I had Battle.net and I didn't know what the hell it was when I started. I played like 2 games and went, "Yep, another FPS," and I'm done. And I just it was free, so fuck it, I was gonna
Right.
go. I haven't bought it, but
It's still free.
But here's the problem. No, you still got to pay $50 for it. And that's where, unless you get it from like a store, which is like $20 or something like that. Overwatch is not free. It's free to play without a subscription, but you still have to pay for the game. And that was the point I was going to make. League of Legends is free. It's a MOBA as well. Why do I need Overwatch 2?
Because it's an FPS
Oh
movie.
yeah, well, let me get to that. Let me give my point. I see your hand. That was my point. Anything that we're talking about here, the amount of changes they're making in Overwatch, the changes they're making are the same types of changes that Riot made in like League of Legends. They're adding a PvE. Oh my God, they can't add that to the client for 2
They
seconds.
added a single player mode.
That's that's player versus environment. Yes, that's
I don't know what those fucking. I don't MOBA. I don't even know what the fuck MOBA means.
multiplayer online battle arena.
I understand all those words separately.
Great, now you know what they mean together. But the point I was trying to make was this is nothing they couldn't just patch into Overwatch. It's really not patch, but like do an overhaul on.
But anyone that doesn't want to buy Overwatch 2, they're getting all the new maps, all the new models for Overwatch.
Right.
So really, it is a patch, but you're paying for that single player.
Yeah, I don't know why you're having to pay for like that. That was the point I was trying to make. Is like you have to pay for it now
Because
an
it's
expansion
giving you a
pack.
single player experience where you don't have to be online to play.
It's an expansion on a MOBA, which that's the part that I understand
You're
expansion
not
packs.
paying
I
for the
played
expansion
League.
on the MOBA, though. You're
Gentlemen.
paying for the single player.
Hold on, Carlos.
Do you strongly like just to add a little parallel when we all said like, oh, Activision has their hand in things and they dip in and they demand things? Do you strongly feel that when EA kind of did things and FUBAR Star Wars Battlefront, that loot boxes, more money, more revenue? Do you not think the shareholders were like, how come we're not doing the same thing?
Wow,
And-
you went backwards in the conversation.
Well, I mean, you
No.
do need for a game that is an online game that is not subscription supported. You need a revenue stream of some kind to keep the servers running. It's necessary. So if that's a matter of, hey, here's more content for those interested, buying this helps keep the game in development. I don't see a problem with it,
Well, that was always my thing. 'Cause-
especially if it's optional.
Well, I play MOBAs. I play League, which is the MOBA the whole time. Now, I never had a problem with Overwatch. I never said that I disliked the game. I never said I was not my cup of tea. I like watching it. It's fun.
Well, I mean,
It's
for a
just the
MOBA,
whole-
it's not a traditional MOBA. It's an
Correct.
FPS. It
It's
plays
just-
a lot different.
For me, it's just the
Team
whole thing.
Fortress.
It's me like just
Right.
purchasing another thing. I'm like, I don't understand why I would have to purchase to get the single player. I didn't get that. And I don't know why you called it Overwatch 2. You could have called it like Overwatch Origins or something else. You know what I mean? That was my only thing. That was always
Overwatched.
overplayed.
I could say that about almost every game.
Yeah, I
Right.
know. But that was just my thing on it. No, I understand why they're doing it. I'm like, okay, they're taking your money. All right, that's pretty much what they need to do. They need to do this to keep the money and the lights on. Outstanding.
And it's better than what some companies do to keep the lights on. This is at least they're providing you unique content that's different from what you already have, instead of sitting there trying to rehash stuff that's already in the game with a different color on top of it and calling it new.
Chromas.
Yeah, and calling it new content. So at least there's something there, and it's not required.
Oh yeah, I
played
get it.
Warcraft 3. It's an RTS. Warcraft 3 Frozen Throne come out. I'm paying for a new expansion
pack,
I don't-
yes.
It's the same thing. It's
yeah.
Blizzard's.
It's Blizzard's MO.
Yeah.
Well, it's everyone's. I mean, that was the thing back in the day.
But we flipped that.
Not
You said
necessarily everyone's.
you said from a MOBA to an RTS.
But it's an expansion nonetheless. You're
just-
still paying for it.
I just don't understand.
You're paying for additional content, additional story, additional art
But my
assets.
thing is,
Roller
this is
Coaster
the
Tycoon.
only MOBA that needed money. This was the only MOBA that required you to pay for it. And they, at the time when
Alright.
they released this MOBA, was still the most expensive, is still the biggest company to hold a MOBA. And that's where I'm just confused at. and that was
Well,
my whole
League
thing.
is supported financially by the players. It's supported by the currency that you would then buy. So there is a support model
Correct.
for all
That-
these other MOBAs too.
That is exactly. But I have no upfront cost. I choose to put my money into it for like skins and things like that.
Well, that's the difference.
I had
is
to
either
purchase a $60 game to play Overwatch.
well,
already.
and it's just a different
but are you
financial
paying
model.
for skins or anything else while you're in there?
Some of them,
So
yes.
if you can,
Hold on,
so if you
Chuckles, go
consider
ahead.
this to be, if you consider this to be an expansion, does that mean that people who have Overwatch can play against people who
Yes,
have Overwatch
completely.
too?
Oh yeah, that yes, you can. That one was brought up into the thing. I know. This is, by the way, this is just personal for me. This is just me being another person. So I understand why they're doing it. I just personally I don't like it. Blizzard, do your thing. I'm not going to sit here and tell you why you shouldn't go buy the damn thing. And that's always been my MO. I'll tell you why I don't like something. I'm not going to berate you for liking something. If you
Now,
want to go get,
do you need
I will.
Overwatch 1 in order to purchase Overwatch 2, or do you have to
No.
purchase them both?
Standalone.
you
can purchase
Overwatch,
two.
Yeah, Overwatch 2 is a standalone for a PVE game with a one-player game that you can go, and then you get like.
But you get
go Overwatch
everything
1.
from Overwatch 1,
Yeah.
Overwatch 2. You
So
get
if you
it's
buy
all
Overwatch 2,
encompassing.
so if you buy Overwatch 2, you get everything in Overwatch 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
it's kind of.
But you've already purchased Overwatch 1, so like that.
It's buying the year of the end of the year edition.
Right.
Exactly.
But there is a.
Go ahead, Carlos.
I'm very sorry. There is a one thing I will bring back with EA was that Battlefront 1, everyone was demanding, oh, where's the single player? Where's the single player? Battlefront 2 came out, and they're like, you're basically just giving us a rehash of things. Why do we have to pay for this?
You're paying for the single player again.
Yeah, you're playing for the single player, and now new things in the multiplayer, and they try to spin it going, oh, you're going to find out things from the Star Wars universe. I'm going, oh, okay.
The difference is that Blizzard does it more. Blizzard and Activision do it more successfully.
Yeah, that is true. Even to the point that
The nod from Kyle's like, yeah, shit, and they do.
Even now the Fallen Order, like I like that game, but it's coming out with so a mixed bag of reviews going, oh, this should have been free, this should have been added on, yada yada.
Fallen Order is not out until next week.
Well, yeah, but they have the review copies that went out to people.
Yeah, they have the review copies. It already has a lot of things where like, oh,
game.
there's no loot boxes.
It's a what?
It's a Souls game.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Now, I'll still say my favorite Star Wars still is like The Force Unleashed was still one of my favorite games to play.
Battlefront
X-Wing versus TIE Fighter.
Oh, was it God, what was the one where you were in a freaking like you were in the freaking like episode 1 and you were in those fighters the whole time.
That was Battlefront 2 OG like 2009.
Played that? No, I'm talking about way before that because I played it in my grandparents' house.
Yeah,
That's what I'm talking about. But
I think you're talking about Jedi Starfighter.
Thank you, Jedi Starfighter. That was it. But not the point. Back to what we were talking about because we did, and I agree wholeheartedly with that one, Carlos. It is pretty much an EA tried to do what they do, and Blizzard does it better. Right. But Overwatch 2 is going to capture the hearts of everybody because everyone does get new skins and they get all that. They also did for Don, and I don't know if Chuckles, I know he's on Final Fantasy 15 right now, right, Chuckles?
14. Yep.
Yeah, that's what I said. I know it's 15. Same. Yeah, it's all the same. After like 12, it was all the same.
Is this the Backstreet Boys game one?
The Backstreet Boys.
That's 15.
14
that's X2.
Hey, 14 and 15 are way different. 14's an MMO.
But we were talking about, speaking of MMOs, into the Shadowlands.
Oh, and I can talk for a while about Shadowlands. First off, I have been, to give a little backstory before coming into BlizzCon, I have very much been on the classic WoW hype train. And I was looking forward to that game for the past 2 years it was in development. And have been loving every second of playing that. I've got one character at 60, and I'm working on a few more. So Shadowlands hits, and I am just sucked right back into the retail WoW experience. Looking forward to the next expansion. Everything about it sounds so cool. Like they're listening to the player base. Again, fixing some of the problems that the game has had and a lot of common complaints, the leveling experience, the maximum level, player agency. Some of the new stuff they're adding looks fantastic. So much so that I had to hop back onto retail WoW. And with all its faults in Battle for Azeroth, man, it's a good game. It is good. The game is fun.
Let's talk about the trailer really quick and talk about how Sylvanas made Bolvar Fordragon like her bitch.
Oh yeah, she
that wasn't even
clapped on him.
That wasn't even a close fight, but it was a beautiful cinematic. To which it brings back to the question that me and Kyle have always talked about: why have they not come out with like a Netflix show?
Oh, if you
like
let loose
Magic the Gathering,
you let loose the WoW cinematic team on a TV show, and you will have the absolute most visually impressive thing in the world.
That could be the same thing with Star Wars.
You let any video game, let Square cinematic team do something. Let Blizzard.
Well, yeah. I mean, that like, was it Wizards of the Coast? Like, they're finally doing one. We're scared shitless of it. We don't know what we're gonna expect yet. Like, I don't know where they're gonna start yet, and I don't want to know until I turn on the first episode. So I'm trying to avoid spoilers of what I can.
But I mean, look what Castlevania did.
Oh
That's
my
phenomenal.
lord, that was great. Yeah. But I'm talking about like, but Castlevania went to like straight regular animation. Blizzard's animation gives you that feeling of it being real.
Oh, I know, but
that's always been the difference for me.
Well, and then let's talk about the actual content of that cinematic for a second. Grabbing the helm of the Lich King, the helm of I believe Damnation is the title in universe of that helmet.
I don't remember.
And having Sylvanas hold that up right in front of her face, and I don't know about you guys, but for a brief second,
I thought she was putting it on.
I thought for sure that thing was getting popped on top of her head, and we were about to have some
bitch queen?
some bitch queen, as people have been calling her. And then watching that thing getting split in half and rending the fabric of time and space asunder. That was one of my favorite cinematics in recent years.
The fucking throwing, like everything. Okay, say what you want about Battle for Azeroth. The cinematics that they have come out with.
Oh, Old Soldier.
Oh my god. The fucking, you got the story of Sourfang. Oh my god. And then you got Zappy Boy, which everyone loved.
Yep.
And Thrall coming back, OG. Oh man, that's my boy. Like, he looks pumped. I'm ready for him. And then you got to see Sourfang wield fucking Rin's fucking blades. Oh man, those were so good. It was such just a beautifully, like, they put where they lacked in gameplay, the story.
Oh yeah,
The storytelling that they have done.
the story of BFA. Say what you will about the game mechanics they introduced and grinding more AP like we had in Legion. For all that aside, the story was just outstanding.
Yep,
It was
and
fantastic.
I have a question for
Sure.
you.
Go ahead, Jonas.
Does WoW have at this point for, let's say, returning players or new players, a way to actually go back and play the story from the get-go?
So I can
Because
speak
I
to
know
that.
I know that they've changed the world. Like, the world map has changed.
Oh, yeah,
over
yeah.
the
They
course of,
have
like,
a
the last
character?
15 years.
They have a character like at the start of each zone that's changed that you can go talk to revert the world.
Yeah,
back.
so to some degree, there's actually two ways this is going to come into play, especially as Shadowlands hits. For a new player that's never experienced the game, one, you've got Classic you can play through. You can play through the game as it was 15 years ago, and that's all part of the same subscription. And then as you come through, you take your character into the third expansion, Cataclysm, where the world was changed. And you can see some past events unfold during the game while you play through it. But one of the things I love that they're doing with Shadowlands is new players coming in will get a brand new starting zone to introduce them to modern WoW. And then after they finish that, and that's level 1 to 10, you are going to go into Battle for Azeroth, the latest expansion currently, and level 10 through 50 before going to Shadowlands, so you're up to the current story. Once you do that, you get to go back, and it's your choice at level 10 which expansion you want to go back and relive, and you'll be able to level from 10 to 50 exclusively in that expansion, start zone to finishing zone, and experience the entire thing. And it will be gated in such a way that you're not seeing the end version of that. You are seeing the start, and it will progress through the entire expansion. So you will get to experience all of them.
There's only one thing, the reason I love that. There's one big reason. Flying. How hard flying was to acquire at those later expansions. Get this fucking achievement after you grinded out 4 million things. After you spent your entire life fucking in your children's souls to get flying in this thing, and then you can now fly. So I have Warlords of Draenor, like for example, Warlords of Draenor flying, right? Boom. I want a level there. Why? Because I can fucking fly at some point.
Right.
Because that's account bound. That's the good part. It's account bound. So I could fly in those zones. Do I want to level in fucking BFA? No, I don't got flying there yet. I'm good.
Right. Well, and flying, the way they introduced the Pathfinder achievements is a Band-Aid fix to where after Burning Crusade, where flying became a thing, and then I think they really perfected it in Wrath because they designed zones around being able to fly, and that was cool. When it's just a generic zone that's meant to be experienced from the ground, but you can fly on it, you miss so much. So their Band-Aid fix was, well, we're not sure we like flying, but no one's going to let us take it out of the game without a lot of, yelling and screaming. So we're going to give it back to you eventually, but see it from the ground first.
Like, so.
Yeah, Final Fantasy XIV does the same thing when it comes to Aether Currents. You got to find these Aether Currents on the map, and you have to experience all that, and then you unlock it throughout the storyline.
Yeah, it's flat points. So that's Shadowlands. I'll pop on it. I'll get it. I'll pop on it, and I'll grind through it because I have my character Lothian. And I'll barrel through that again because I want to know the story. The story does have me gripped.
And that the tower in the mall sounds like an awesome gameplay mechanic for replayability, that roguelike tower where it's different every time. You can have your builds that you power up each time based on what you can find. I think that's going to be a lot of fun for replayability. And I've got one theory about Shadowlands when we're ready to move on from it. But
Go on.
okay, so my theory with Shadowlands, and I haven't looked to see if anyone else online shares this theory with me as well, but we are going to the plane of existence where death happens. That's where dead go to live out their afterlife. We're going there as living beings, and we're going to be able to transport there. We are going to be leveling to 60 there from 50 if you have a max level character currently. So what I'm expecting is, come the end of this is a very perfect setup for a WoW 2.0. I have a theory that there's not going to be another normal canon expansion at the end of this, and we are going to come back to WoW 2.0. We're going to be dead in the Shadowlands at the end of this expansion, and to come back, we are being reborn into a new, restarted world. That's going to take a lot of influence from Classic with updated mechanics, and we're going to get WoW 2.0.
Where they have to change all the spells and everything else. Go
Oh, yeah.
it'd be at the rehash top to bottom.
Oh, yeah, I'm absolutely sure that's the case.
If they do that, how do you think the player base is gonna react to that?
I'm pretty sure.
Considering if they have to lose all of their mounts and all of the stuff that they've accumulated on their character.
I'm pretty sure that it's going to be just like any other game where you're going to keep the you'll have the WoW regular WoW, retail WoW, WoW 1 where you can go back, do raids, things like that. They'll have something going on all the time. In WoW 2.0, you have a choice to take your character and move them over.
Well, no, I think it's going to be a lot like when Cataclysm released. If you were a max level character at the end of the Wrath of the Lich King, you started Cataclysm as a previous max level character leveling through the new content, but the entirety of the rest of the world was recreated from the ground up for that 1 to 80 experience. I think what we're going to get after Shadowlands is WoW 2.0, where if you're leveling from Shadowlands, you are going to move into the high level zones of WoW 2.0, and if you start a new character, you are going to be starting fresh in the WoW 2.0 world.
All conspiracy theories. We have no proof. Illuminati confirmed.
Zero proof of any of this happening, but this is just where to me, that's where we're leading. This is if they're ever going to do it, and I genuinely think they do need to do it, this is the time.
We'll see. We'll see how it all runs through. But I'm excited about that. But the thing that Kyle sent me, the thing that got me excited, Diablo 4. The cinematic for that, once again, absolutely beautiful. Very Castlevania-esque. That was what I was at Enemy Week in Atlanta when he told me about it. I'm sitting there outside the room.
Lilith is beautiful.
I was sitting outside on the floor. People are like, "What are you doing? Shut up and go away." I'm watching something. Morgie, if you got a question, shut up. What are you doing? Diablo 4. I'll leave you be. And they would walk off. I'm like, awesome. And I sat there and I watched it. And it looks beautiful. And they have the 4 classes right now, which is a drawback.
They've
it was
only
3.
announced
That
3.
was 3. That was my apologies. 3. Which I really enjoyed. Obviously, you have the classic barbarian, you have the classic sorcerer, and then you have the new one, which is the druid.
It's not new. It's bringing back the druid class from Diablo 2.
What is new about it is the fact that it looks like a dwarf. It's got the stockiness of a dwarf, just giant. That's what I was trying to that's the new part to me, because that was the big difference maker. And I was like, I love it. It's like they merged a shaman and a druid together, and it looked like I saw many hours of my fucking time wasted on this couch with Kyle, just barreling through this game over and over again.
You gotta love when you can see that in a game. You take one look at it and you're like, well, there goes my next year.
Kyle?
Oh, dude, I'm so stoked for this. I probably put in 2,000 hours in Diablo 2, 3,000 hours in Diablo 3. I'm hoping for 4,000 hours out of Diablo 4.
And whereas I've put about an hour and a half into Diablo 3, and that's about the extent of it.
3 was fun. It was a good way to kill time. I didn't do the clicking, so.
No, I
don't like
my
clicking.
limited experience with I played a bit of 2.
PC version, you mean, right?
Diablo 3 is the first Diablo I played because I don't computer game.
Which I can respect that. I know that, but I played it on PS4. So you're talking about. I apologize. I understand what you mean now.
Diablo 3 I put in
We
some serious
we
time.
put in hours. Holy crap, we put in hours on that game. And it was just fun. Like, and then they tried the expansion with the Necromancer, and that was, you know what? I was happy to get him back. My daughter absolutely loves the Necromancer. Like, she loves just blowing up corpses.
You're raising her well.
around. She's like, look, explosion. I'm like, that's awesome. All right, I love it, kid. Keep going. Like, I got you a Switch. I want to get you Diablo 3 on that for a bit. And that was just so much grinding fun after a while. And then you tried to like figure out which set, and there was like, oh, here's the top tier set. I'm like, which set is the best for me to play with?
Yeah.
Best
I mean,
list.
that's
Like my barbarian has like a set that allows me to jump. Like all I do is consistently jump around the screen, and I kill Bird over like 400 times because he gets stuck behind walls. Go ahead, Chuckles.
Dude, there were so many days where Tom and we would play Diablo 3 just 3-4 hours a night for like months straight. Like, we would play hardcore mode, and yeah, like,
oh, was it?
we would end up we would play the same hardcore characters for like 30-40 hours. One of us die, and we'd be like, we're taking a couple days off.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it? Let's go back to Diablo 2. Me and Freed, we had laptops, and we would LAN, like we'd be on the mess decks, and we'd LAN just two computers together, two laptops together, just to play Diablo 2 together alone. And we'd freaking like we'd hack it to put a freaking like most deadly broom in the world into the damn game, which was just like a broom that did the most DPS.
Fred the Broom?
We did some stupid
That's
fun
where I got
shit
the
on
inspiration
the ship
of
with
Fred.
LANs, dude.
But Diablo 3 was just such a great time. Now 4, I'm looking forward to, but like aside from being a bear, like I'm waiting to like, yeah, Sorcerer looks fun, but it looks like the same Sorcerer I played before. Barbarian looks fun, but it looks like the same Barbarian I played before. I'm waiting for that class where I go, that looks like something I played before, and I fucking want to do it again.
Yep.
Like that's what I'm waiting on.
I don't think we're gonna get any new classes. I'm hoping we get 3 more classes. Make it
a bare minimum 2, but 3 would be
bare
perfect.
minimum would be 1
for me
to round it out.
But for me, 2 you need that too, because I always hated the games where you got stuck as like, I want to play this, I want to play this. Damn, I'm stuck with this just to make the party cool.
Well, yeah, I think they're gonna go at least 5.
Correct. That's
which was the standard for most Diablos.
Correct.
Throw a Paladin into the mix, I'm sold.
Crusader, and I was sold.
They're pushing crossplay, which is nice.
Oh, very nice.
So I'm intrigued. It'll be out sometime next year.
What classes are you hoping for? If you had to think of a new class, like let's say, what old class are you looking for? What new class would you think of?
Old class, give me my Demon Hunter.
Ah, good old Demon Hunter.
New class? Yeah, that'd be. I don't know.
We always have some kind of summoner. We always do in every game, and it's always a necromancer. And then they tried the witch doctor, which witch doctor was
fun.
way more fun than he should have been.
Witch doctor was fun.
Dude, I love the witch
When
doctor.
you have
I was gonna
four
say.
level 2 classes, like so if you never got that far into the game yourself, you get armor sets.
Yeah.
And
I'm familiar with that, like enough of the game.
My
to know.
witch doctor has 3 different armor sets being worn currently because they all do something really badass for me to play with. And that was so much fun. So Witch Doctor, you didn't really expect him to be stupid fun, but when you have like 6 dogs, 30 skeletons, like 30 like goblins with knives stabbing people, and 1 gargantuan and you're throwing out like spirits at people.
Fetishes.
It's fetishes. Yeah, they call them fetishes.
Yes, they do.
But that was fun. What I would like to see, and this is me being Bruce, I would like to see like a warlock. I would like to see something they've never done before, which is allow you to actually summon the devils of hell to fight for you. Because you need a summoning person. It's a cliche.
It's a cliche.
It's not even a cliche. It's a classic. Necromancer was always there, but I've seen skeletons done over and over and over. I want to see actual like devils. I want to see me like. Go ahead.
Like the first Diablo, there was not a summoner. So
correct. But I'm saying like
Necromancer,
Necromancer, Diablo 2, Diablo 3.
Right.
Like Diablo 3 had 2 of them.
I want a bard.
That'd be amazing.
I'll tell you what I'd like to see, and I don't believe this has been done in the previous games. Correct me if I'm wrong. And whether or not this fits within the universe, but I would love to see a Tinker. I think that could be a really fun class.
Like when you say Tinker, what are you thinking?
Using like steampunk style mechanical constructs.
Well, you would have to go back to Blunderbuss.
like a machine.
It would be like a machinist, but I don't think that would work yet.
I don't think it would fit the
it wouldn't
the
fit
world.
I'm sure it wouldn't fit the
but
universe. I just like it as a class.
If you went back to like Blunderbuss, like where like that kind of evolution of like technology is coming along, that would work. But I don't think they're far enough ahead to get.
I just don't feel that it fits that world.
Not yet. I'm saying like because we've kept. Here's the thing about Diablo is that the time is still going forward.
Right.
Yeah.
So a blunderbuss would make sense, but like anything like I have a standing turret, nah, no one's that good yet.
Well, I mean, you've got magic in the game, right? You can make a magical excuse for why some of this technology works.
but you
What
have
about like a pirate?
a scoundrel?
Yeah.
Well, you have a scoundrel, but yeah, pirate. I see what you mean. Like
Well, the
scallywag.
scoundrel was an NPC that just
He
followed you
was a
around.
rogue. Yeah. He was a demon hunter,
But
effectively.
you didn't get to play as it.
He was just a demon hunter with different abilities. It was same concept though, but he was
But, I
called
mean-
he was called the scoundrel. Yeah.
A rogue would be fun.
Yeah, a monk with daggers, like actually, like an actual rogue, like a
Yeah.
teleporting, like a Batman that kills in the old times is what we're looking for here.
Well, they did have an assassin in 2 and an Amazon.
Assassin was absolute crap though.
Yeah,
Amazon was not that good either.
I like playing the Amazon.
I was not a
once in while.
fan
It
of the
was nice to be
Amazon,
part
but I
of
will
it.
say you were talking about a paladin. The first thing they released, one of the biggest classes they released in Diablo 3, which everyone was concerned on, was confused why I took, was the Crusader. And
I hated the Crusader.
I love the Crusader because I found a shield. They have this ability called Phalanx, and Phalanx allows you to summon X amount of like depending on what rune you took, you could take. You could get archers, or you can get like horses, or you can get people on swords. And I'm like, oh, I like this. And then I found a shield that says you summon double the amount of phalanx that you normally do, and it reduces the cooldown. So I had constantly 8 archers by my side, like killing people for me.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
Oh, I got really. It was so much
that
fun.
or something more akin to a classic cleric. I'd be in for.
Oh, get the hell out of here with your
Yeah, that's kind of my jam when it comes to the fantasy universe. That and druids. So the new druid class
Druid
is
looks so much fun.
like I'm on board for that. That's enough for me to want to pick up the game.
The druid looks so much fun. Like that dude he looks like a giant. He looks like he's just a giant, but
He was
You know,
not
with-
cross
you know, with the
between
whole-
the barb and the sorcerer, basically.
yeah, he pretty much was like, as he turns into a bear, he'll roll out, turn into a bear, and summon a tornado with lightning strikes behind you. And I'm like, it has elements, it has lightning, it has earth, and like it's a shaman. I want it.
Yeah, no, I'm sold on that one.
You know what? With the whole like open world ish type theme that they do have going on, having like a healer base in like a healer class in there might be a thing.
Which is something they haven't done yet. Which
which would
you had to spec into concentration or consecration and go healing ward to get any form of heals out of the Crusader.
See, if they're gonna open it up to more than 4 players, then we can start throwing in that healer class. But I don't really think we need it.
But with the specking ability that they have, you could effectively get a damage dealing cleric that turns into heals. Like I had my Crusader could either deal a lot of damage or just tank everything.
Well, yeah, healing yourself
they
is
do
fine.
have- I think they
I don't,
do
I
have-
don't
I could
care
heal all
about
of you. I could heal all of you.
I don't think you
I think they
could.
do have the ability to
Consecration,
have
as long
more
as
than
you
4
stood on my
players.
thing, I healed you.
Oh,
And-
a
and-
little healing pad. That's
My healing pad was fantastic. And Monk healed everyone around him with his AoE.
Well, and as a party of 4, the most recent analog I have to a game like that is going back to the original Guild Wars. That was group content of 4, and having a healer in there was beneficial, even if they weren't exclusively the healer.
Playing Guild Wars 2 on Chuckle's couch. That's what I did.
I never played 2. I played the first one.
I played Guild. I think it was 1 or 2. I can't remember. I played it when I was in the military, and I was playing it over at Chuckle's house when I was rooming on his couch.
Yep.
Good times.
That was a fun game.
Yes, it was.
I went up to level 20 max.
Yeah, it wasn't that great. It was good, but what are you hoping for in this game for gameplay, Kyle? What are you like better end game content? What are you hoping for?
Well, better end game content would be nice, but give us the randomly generated maps like they promised for 3. I don't want each playthrough to be the same.
I can respect. I can
the start
respect
of right when 3 came out, it was always the same map. They claimed that it was going to be your randomly generated.
It changed very little.
Yeah, it didn't. It didn't change until 18 months later.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean. But yeah, it did change, but it was very, very little. Well, the rifts were fun, but the rifts got monotonous. And they let it get hacked, and that ruined the game for all of you.
And it's very possible that they will move towards that tech, especially since they are incorporating it into Warcraft, into World of Warcraft, incorporating the randomly generated zone for group content. They've got more experience with it in a modern setting and how it's going to work and how to develop it further. There's no reason they can't include that into Diablo as well. And that's the perfect place for it.
Reaper Edition had the random.
So we have 4 people that played the game before, sitting here. I played a little bit of it or a lot of it, depending on... Carlos, have you ever played or been interested in playing Diablo? Carlos AFK'd for a moment. I'll take that. Which I wonder why Carlos AFK'd. He probably stepped away from
I
home.
didn't AFK. I've been watching the lovely cinematic thing.
Aren't they beautiful? But
They are.
But
I haven't
were you
played
watching
this.
were you watching the Diablo one?
No, I'm watching right now the World of Warcraft one.
But it's fantastic.
But with Diablo, everything you've been listening to what we were saying, right?
Yes, I have.
Would that be interesting? So would that be enough to interest you in something to play, like something to pick up? Because we're old school players, so this is literally I think this is the kind of game that got us on Dynasty Warriors type of game. I'm just gonna run through everything.
And
I like that, but I'm a co-op person. I definitely like to play with a squad.
Oh, this is it. Then this is your thing.
Okay.
Diablo is all co-op. Diablo is the kind of game that got us, me and Kyle were sad. The Diablo 3 came out. We're like, oh my god, we can sit on a couch and talk to each other again.
And I probably would have played a ton more Diablo if not for the control scheme. The click to move, click to attack. If you would have given me a game that handled a little more like a Dynasty Warriors, but plus spells in that environment, I would have played that game nonstop.
That was 3.
That was 3, but that was on when you had it on PlayStation.
Right, and I was playing mouse and keyboard. I don't like it on mouse and keyboard that much, but I can just plug a controller in there.
I don't like
Yeah,
dungeon
you can
crawlers
just like that.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can put in a controller on there, play on the telly with better refresh.
Yeah,
On the telly.
on the
Yeah, I'll tell you. Well, I got a 140 hertz monitor, so we got good refresh going there.
Okay.
It's
Well,
a
you
good,
can still buy the Asus 65-inch.
but I'll say that Diablo to me was what was the big reveal. That's what we had been hoping for years.
See, I think this was Diablo 4 release was damage control from Diablo Immortal release at E3.
And Immortal to me, looking back on it now, as not a diehard Diablo fan, but a fan of the game and a fan for the people that are fans, I feel like Immortal was. They tried their best to not hype that up, and then fans kept asking them like, "Oh, we're definitely going to hear Diablo." Like, "Oh, well, maybe temper your expectations a little bit." All leading up to BlizzCon last time.
I feel like 4 had issues. I feel like Immortal was that kind of thing that was going to get tacked on after 4. It's like, do you want to play 4? Well, when you're not doing that, play Immortal on your back end.
Yeah, well,
That
it
kind of
originally
thing?
wasn't even for the U.S. market. They didn't
I
even
have a
want to
question
release it
for
in the
you
U.S.
guys.
Go ahead, shoot, Chuckles.
What would you guys say if it was a very low cost subscription based game?
I have too many subscriptions already.
I'm good.
Let me say let me say what if the game costs $10 a year to play?
That wouldn't be a
Like,
problem. That wouldn't be too
With no upfront cost, I would pay that.
with no upfront cost. No, yeah, I'd play it. But if I have to pay like $60 to
No,
get
I'm
the
good
game,
because I still have to pay $60 to play online.
All right, what like instead like would you guys pay for DLC? Like I'm just trying to figure
Well,
out. Like,
DLC I'll pay
DLC
for.
I'll pay for.
DLC I'll
DLC's
pay
fine.
for. That's okay. DLC
Depending on the DLC, that's
Yeah.
'cause
entirely
these
acceptable.
games, like every Diablo game ever that's ever been created, that ever will be created, is going to get grindy at the end of it. Everybody's going to end up doing the same thing. It's going to be a grind.
Oh, yeah.
Doing the same thing every 15 minutes. But I'm trying to figure out like what could they do to actually better the end game. The end game is like
I would
their
pay for
biggest
more
downfall.
end game content,
which we have
which we have.
with
Allow
Reaper
Spotify to
with
be
Reaper
your,
Souls.
contract.
I will not pay for a subscription because you have to pay to play online on consoles.
Exactly. You have to pay already.
I'm not paying $70 to play for a year.
if it's cross platform,
No, still no.
you guys might not have to pay
No, you still
to pay on
will.
console.
I
Yeah,
still have
our
to get
consoles
PlayStation
still
Plus to.
will.
You have to pay for PlayStation Plus. You have to pay for Xbox Live.
I have a PlayStation 4 that I play Final Fantasy 14 on. That's cross-platform. I don't pay for PlayStation Plus. I can still play it
Yeah,
because it uses a different server.
if they did something like that, I think
where I don't have to pay for
you're
PlayStation
onto
Plus,
something.
Then I'm on something.
Yeah.
That doesn't bother me. But the end game content still doesn't. Me paying more money still doesn't change the end game content.
No.
That doesn't change what the product they're giving me.
Well, it
I also want to
could.
play offline.
Yeah.
I think that's. I
I mean,
think
if
that's.
they did
that-
DLC, that'd be fine. If they came out like every 6 months with like a $10 or $15 DLC, that would increase the storyline.
Well, see, they came out
Or-
with an expansion with Reaper of Souls. That was great. That was
Well,
a
they
good one.
come out with an expansion for every game.
And
What
then they
about
came.
the
That's
Season
like
Pass?
that's like a whole that's like I would say that's more than a DLC, really.
And then they came out with the Necromancer pack, which gave you some more story to play on a little bit there with Herodra Cube, which was fun. And that was good, and I enjoyed that for the time it was there. It's not a WoW. It's not a fucking game like that. When I pick up Diablo, I'm going to play Diablo, and that's it.
It's about a 6-month game. That's about all I look for out of this game.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
plan on playing
No,
that
I
thing for
agree.
6
I'm
months.
just like I've just seen like I've watched a lot of video commentary
Until we
on
got-
people and they're constantly talking about like there's no end game, blah blah blah. How am I supposed to do this? Oh, you want to make it like greater rips and blah blah. It's like
There
I'm
isn't.
sitting here thinking like there's no dev support after the game comes out except what they give you, and that's just nicety on their
Oh
part.
no,
Yeah.
no! You have to remember, there's seasons in that game.
Yeah,
where you create a new character and you go through that and try to get the leaderboards. That's fucking end game right there. The end game for
well, for a
fucking-
select few
There's
players.
Yeah,
new
there's-
sets and there's new items, new sets that come out every season. So
And then they're talking about end game. It's a PV. You're playing for the PVE. I don't expect to go play Mario Brothers and get a different fucking ending. You're playing PVE. You're playing player versus environment.
I'm right
and
there
that's
with
fucking.
you.
I'm playing
what
Valkyrie
Mario
at the
Maker
end.
for.
Well,
Yeah.
guys, would you guys be opposed to like having like a season pass where like throughout the year they give like special skins to certain things or like
well,
they change?
That's it. I'm
That's
not
what
pl-
they do right now with
I'm not-
Diablo 3.
Yeah, I'm not
Oh.
playing for the pay to play for pretty. Was it Kim Kardashian pretty makeup system?
Right.
I'm
I
not.
will
don't do
never
that
spend
either.
money
Well,
on a skin.
And for an online game like that, I'm in two schools of thought. It's either I will buy the game for a cost up front, and then I'm going to play it, and then you want to release new content, I will buy that new content.
Yes.
Or base game with a base fee, not a full retail fee. I will pay my annual subscription or even monthly, depending on what it is, if it's fair. But then everything you're going to release after the fact, I better get that with my fee.
Exactly. There's
It's like it's either or. I'm doing either one.
there's people that
Monster
do
Hunters
the,
like that. Monster Hunters like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's people that do free things like that. Like we played Tekken for a while, right? And we played the crap out of. We played the shit out of Tekken for a bit. I
Oh,
loved it.
Tekken bowling.
Oh my god! And then they dropped Tekken Bowling, and that is to this day.
I don't
is
think we
still
spent $10 faster.
that is still the best $10 DLC I've ever purchased. They gave you Tekken fucking Bowling, and it was the best 3 hours we spent. And I was for $10, and I could
Yeah.
bring it up right now if I wanted to. But it's no more fun than watching Geese Howard throw a fucking hook into a fucking pocket.
That was like Arma did that with one of its DLCs. They, as a joke, as an April Fool's joke, they talked about the new Arma DLC, go-karts and go-kart racing. People loved it so much, they're like, where do I pre-order this? How does this happen? They're like, no, this was a joke. They're like, no, make this.
You're gonna make that now.
And sure enough, Arma Karts is a DLC now.
Here's the thing. This wasn't a joke. There was no lead up. There was no leaks. It went, hey guys, we got Tekken bowling, and you were just sitting here going, I literally called everyone from Comic-Con and said, you're coming over tonight because we're going to play Tekken fucking bowling.
Well, that game was just made for streaming content. That was just made for having, like...
Because the 10 frames went by so fast,
Yeah.
and you're like, winner stays on the stick, and you made fun of the person who missed or guttered.
Which was everyone, because we all
that is
Oh
built
no,
for
I
party
figured it
play.
out at the end, but it was so close. Every game, it was the.
But no
if
one
you
really
didn't
went over 100.
If you didn't strike, that was the problem. It's like I got to pick up a spare. Shit.
Yeah.
All right. At least if I didn't strike, but you said something. That's when we picked up Jack, who could fucking throw the ball. Jack 5, who could throw the fucking ball like 90 miles an hour for a strike. Aha! We found a way to
They
win.
came out with a bowling game based on Tekken.
Oh yeah, baby.
Yeah, I'm watching that right now. I thought they were pulling my leg.
No, we
it's
have
real.
video on it.
It is
I
real.
have video on this that I've done this.
And
Oh, I'm
and hey,
seeing it.
devs, if there are any
fun.
developers that find this, do more stuff like that. Have some fun with your IP.
Let me say this right now. Me and Kyle are bowlers. Like we both.
I think I thought this was making fun of like Left 4 Dead beach volleyball.
No. Well, Left 4 Dead made fun of DOA beach volleyball.
Yeah.
But that was just so
Yeah,
much fun.
and DOA beach volleyball, genuine game.
Once again, Dead or Alive beach volleyball. What
It's
the fuck?
the game nobody asked for, but tons of
People got and wanted.
tons of nerdy
only-
guys in their teens picked that game up.
Only reason I know what Dead or Alive is.
Kage. But I mean, I always say that, like right there, like that's for like you want to talk to me about getting like in-game content. Like they released Geese Howard in Tekken. I'll give that examples in their DLC. I'm a King of Fighters fan, hence why I will tell you why King of Fighters sucks in that tournament. But Geese Howard is King of Fighters, one of the Fatal Fury baddies that was reported into King of Fighters with Terry Bogard, Andy, and Joe Higashi, and Mai Shiranui and everything else. And that was a good DLC for me to pick up because Tekken was the first one, I believe, to pick up Street Fighter, SNK, and Tekken, all three, and put them into a game. And they just haven't done anything since. I'm like, that was the fighting triumphant right there.
No, that's Smash Brothers.
And there's Smash Brothers, they finally did it.
No, you're both wrong. Marvel versus Capcom.
No.
No, Marvel versus Marvel, just Marvel versus Capcom.
Smash has like everything.
Well-
Just give it a second.
Then we will go ahead, and that's pretty much it for Blizzard. That's what they did. So let me go ahead and talk about Nintendo then, because Nintendo Smash released Terry Bogard,
Yes.
and that's not the only thing they did. If you go back and watch that video, the guy who released it, I think is like the president or something like that, or the lead developer.
Creator of
Thank you.
Smash.
He fucking taught you people who only believe in like Smash Bros. How to play fighting games
Yeah.
by introducing Terry fucking Bogard.
Yes.
It was an hour-long fucking introduction, and he's like, "This is how you do a Shinku Hadoken, but it's Buster Wolf. This is how you do the Power Geyser. It's not I'm pressing forward B. No, you have to go down, down to back, down, forward, up, and there's Power Geyser. Enjoy." And it got fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it was amazing because I was watching the symbols on the screen and I was dying on the floor. And it was so cool because I've been a big Terry Bogard fan. I love SNK. So Capcom vs SNK was really fun for me. And it's such like, and King of Fighters was so much fun for me. Still one of my most fondest memories, and I'll never be able to forget this, is I picked up King of Fighters 13. And Kyle came home, and we had nothing to play because we were still going to GameStop trying to find something to play, to the point where the people would send the new trainees at us, and we would roast them for fun. Because like, you want to play Call of Duty, and the death stare that this little like 17-year-old person got while their manager who knew us was dying laughing behind the counter was amazing. So all I had was King of Fighters 13. So me and Kyle played over the course of like a week while he was on leave, was like 24 to 32 hours of just King of Fighters. And I was, it was going back and forth, but I pretty much beat his ass a lot.
No, there are worse ways to spend a week.
So he goes back to Virginia and gets up, or it was Virginia at the time, I believe. And you went to play your friend who was like, I got King of Fighters. He's like, I played this with my friend. And Kyle sits down and just massacres the guy. And he goes, "Man, you're really good at this." And Kyle's like, "You should play my friend in Illinois. He'll murder you then if that's the case." But
I had my schoolgirl.
we played every fucking character, top to bottom. We just had nothing to do because that time online players were the big thing. And that's why when Diablo 3 dropped after he got out, that was the big boom for us. We're like, I can sit on my couch. Oh, in Divinity, I'm like, oh my god. But that was so much fun. But the fact that he did all of that with SNK, they went, we're going to give you Terry Bogard, but we're going to give you his original like configuration. And
You can change that to your side B and all that nonsense, but no, you
no,
can't.
he did say, yeah, but the big thing was like, but there was like with the power moves, like we can make it better, but you actually have to input the command to make Power Wave stronger. But the kicker that dropped me on the floor laughing, Carlos, you're gonna have to Google this for yourself on your end, is Mai Shiranui. So.
She's too big, boob.
So he goes, I'm going to have guest characters in the back. And I'm not talking, like, for the King of Fighters stage, he had a shit ton of characters. Geese, Kiyo, Iori.
Almost all of them.
King, God, I can remember her name now. The chick with the knives.
I want to say Athena was in there.
Athena was in there, but the chick with the knives. I can't remember. She was with the two
Athena
wrestlers.
was my chick.
Actually, Athena was your chick. I hated her. But like,
her.
there were so many people, like Chang and fucking and Fang, and like, it was some really cool people. And then they went, I know. And he literally turns to the camera and goes, I know what you're asking right now. You're going to notice that there's a significant character missing. And I need you to understand that this game is made for players of all ages. So Mai Shiranui is not going to be in this game. And I'm like, God dang it. Anybody who's played King of Fighters, you can take out your phone right now and Google this shit.
No. I know who you're talking about.
And she bounces all around.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. This was so funny to me. But like the fact that you could tell he was that he grew up on SNK games. Because King of Fighters came out with 95 or 94, 95, 96, 98, 99, 2013. Like they kept going with these, and he grew up playing these games, and that was. Say what you want about Nintendo, there's passion right there, and I was very happy about that. Even though it was just one thing, one hour release of a character, he put so much of his heart into it. You look like something to say. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, now that we've gotten super off track, should we at least give like some quick final thoughts on BlizzCon before we completely
I thought
move
we
on?
were done with that.
I was done with BlizzCon.
Okay.
I mean, BlizzCon for me was a solid. The high point was Diablo 4. The low point was Overwatch. In the middle, I was happy about. WoW.
Yeah.
That was about it. Oh, no, actually, my bad. The low point was the apology. That was the low.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's only so much they can really say without,
Evolution of boobies. God damn it.
Yeah. Right. How about let's go to our call-ins here. What do you guys think?
What did you think about? Like, you were one of the people that got that sat on my couch in your underwear playing WoW, which I believe is a fair trade there, Chuckles. I sat on your couch in my underwear playing Guild Wars. You sat on my couch in your underwear playing fucking WoW. I think we're even. What did you think of BlizzCon?
Well, first of all, who said that I was wearing underwear when you weren't home?
My wife, who walked in and was scared shitless.
Yeah. Well, that's why she was scared, because no underwear.
Anyway,
But go on.
I'm pretty excited. Like Diablo 4 excited me enough. Everything else is just a bonus.
I wanted more information about this.
I really would like to get back into WoW, just for the lore and the story. But it's a very overwhelming game. I've been gone since Kata, so if I can get back into the story, it might draw me in. Otherwise, I don't know if I'll be able to.
And that's one thing they're fixing too, is they're reducing the grind, not just the level squish, but they also said leveling up is going to be about 60 to 70% faster for players coming back.
Yeah, and Overwatch 2, I might actually wait for that to even get into Overwatch at all. I do want to get. I did want to try the first one, but I'll just wait for that. And I don't know. I think overall, I think that it was successful for them. I think that off of the whole political jive, I think that this was a good success and a step in the right direction.
Carlos?
That's the thing. Low point with these is the last time I touched WoW was we were still setting up a TeamSpeak server and paying for it.
That's going back years.
Yeah, so that's the last time I ever touched it, and then got into just got into my undergrad and tried to play. Couldn't keep guys on a team. Started roles, so that no. But I would love to. I mean, if I had to squad up with you guys, I think I would thoroughly enjoy it. As for Diablo, I'm kind of doing a little bit of reading, and I can see myself getting into it. I think it'd just be personally great.
Oh, you know where my house is at.
Yeah.
You're invited.
Yep.
Okay. Oh,
You're
that's
so far away, Bruce.
You get your ass from Pennsylvania. All right. So if that's the case, then now that we're done with Kyle, do you have anything else?
No.
What was your final thoughts on BlizzCon? Par for the course? As he sits back. Yep. All right. So if that's the case, I'm going to go ahead and bring up. We're going to do our final topic conversation for the evening. An hour and a half in. This should take up our last half hour.
Yep.
And that's going to be the bracket for the prelims. I just wanted to get everyone's idea here of who we think they're going to win each game, and then I want to talk about who we're going to change out for World War Z. And I'll give off a list, and I'll let everyone cast their vote for it, and we'll go from there. So, Chuckles and Carlos, if you'll go to the Twitch stream, you will see on the page the bracket is up on the screen. And
Nice.
I will
I have a minute to catch up, so
I'll go ahead and make it bigger, and I will take up all of our faces because no one wants to see us anyways.
No, we're not that pretty. Pretty, but not that pretty.
Well, I'll just move up
Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Wow.
So, then that's over on the screen here, and that looks beautiful. I'll maximize it for my
There
team.
we go. Now I can see it.
All right. So,
I just showed up.
there we go. So I made it bigger for everyone in our team here. All right, so we'll go down the list and who we think here, and I'll go around. I'll call on the person. So we have, by a very big request, Star Wars: The Last Jedi. And okay, so the bracket was done by me and Kyle. I made a random generated bracket, and then me and Kyle made some tweaks to it. So we'll go here. First, I'm going to go Star Wars: Last Jedi versus Eric Bana Hulk. So this is the... Oh, God, the Eric Bana Hulk. I have to remember everything about that really quick. That was so bad. All these were so bad. This
Just
hurts.
remember him punching a helicopter.
I can remember
Like Lou
that, but I
Ferrigno,
also
right?
remember him yelling at a freaking cloud. And I'm still tainted on clouds. So
I'm the massive the Chihuahua. No, wasn't it Chihuahua?
oh
no,
my
it
God,
was.
the freaking hulked out dog. Yes.
Yeah,
The poodles. The poodle.
Poodles, the hulked out
There we go.
poodles. That was it.
the poodle.
All right, so Chuckles, you have Star Wars: The Last Jedi versus the Incredible Hulk. Who's your pick on this one?
Just who's the pick or who's the pick and why?
Well, I mean, you guys give me your pick, and then I'll ask you the why afterwards. That's how an interview usually goes.
I'd save the Y for a little bit.
Last Jedi wins.
All right, let me go around the room here. Carlos, who do you think wins? Which one do you think is worse? That's the question. That's the big question.
That I'm being like I'm trying to put my bias off of it. and
No,
when
your
it comes-
bias is totally important on this.
Oh, Star Wars.
All right. That's 2 for Star Wars. Don?
I'm gonna go Hulk on this one.
Have you seen that movie?
Parts of it.
You may be on the panel for people to choose which one's worse.
Right.
Kyle?
Star Wars.
All right. Now, by the way, this is total bias. By the way, this is not based off of information. Which one do we think?
Come on. Say it.
No, I have to think about. I'm actually like running it down. Which one I disliked watching more?
I literally went down like cinematics,
Hulk.
special
I
effects,
mean, Hulk.
soundtrack.
I did not enjoy watching like at all. At least I got in Star Wars Last Jedi. I got to watch a ship fly through another ship, and that was pretty cool. And that was like the only redeeming factor. There is nothing about the Eric Bana Hulk that I liked, and that's pretty much my big thing. So it's very difficult.
He wears tanks as boxing gloves.
Yeah, but Edward Norton did it better.
I
love the
No, I mean like the idea of tanks
I
as
like the
boxing
fact
gloves is
that he
cool.
spit out the grenade. They had funny moments.
Mark Ruffalo spit out a bullet. He told you about it.
I
then the
know.
other guy-
I tried.
I know, that was such a depressing moment. All right. Now, this one's the big one. This one's going to be a hard one because...
This is
Wait,
definitely a tough one.
I want to say my why for the last
Go ahead and
one.
say
Go,
your
go,
why.
go.
Go ahead, say your why.
All
We're
right.
not in a hurry. Go ahead.
Hulk Bana was like the premiere, like getting into the Marvel universe for Marvel. It was like the first movie, and yes, it sucked.
Thomas Jane Punisher.
Star Wars
He still goes, ignores
was
my
like the
opinion.
latest, and it destroyed something that I actually loved really much. And these new Star Wars ones completely destroyed all of the book canon of Star Wars,
Yeah.
and that pissed me off so bad because
Well,
I have
the
so
Disney
much
killed
time
the-
invested.
The prequels did that.
Prequels killed the canon.
No, the prequels killed like these ones killed the like later on canon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
for
the
Disney's the
books.
one that said just forget about everything you read in a book.
But Mara Jade's now canon. Because
Yeah,
she
that's-
shows up at
That's a positive. I'll give him that. That's
her name's on a wall at the new Disney or Star Wars park. So
Yeah, but
she's now
Chewie's
canon.
epic death never happened now.
See, I have a hard time having
Death
the
doesn't
Last Jedi disappoint me so much because I was disappointed by The Force Awakens.
Wait, time out. Who was doing The Last Jedi again?
I thought we were getting Hannon.
I appreciate you wrote it down for me. It's on your phone.
Oh yeah, it is.
I got to double check here because
We have someone.
We do have someone, but I wanted Hannon originally.
Freed.
Freed's doing The Last Jedi. Chuckles.
He better do it justice.
Oh, he'll do
will-
it justice. It's Freed,
Tony
man.
up.
It's like me, but like shorter and balding way sooner.
Yeah. Fair.
All right.
Oh,
so
I wish I would have got Star Wars.
everyone wishes they had Star Wars,
I don't.
except Mikhail, obviously. All right. So let's move on to match number 2: the Dark Phoenix versus Suicide Squad. Now, here's my problem. I have yet to watch the Dark Phoenix,
Same.
and I have been backing off from that. So I really don't. All I know is how bad Suicide Squad is.
Yeah.
And from everything I've heard,
My-
Dark Phoenix is worse.
So my only way I can go with this is Suicide Squad. Jared Leto came on screen, and I literally destroyed the tub of popcorn me and Kayla had. And then she had to smack me to get me to realize I was doing it. So I don't know on this one, but the Dark Phoenix could be like worse because this is like attempt number 2 at this story. So I'll have to reserve judgment. I want to say it's going to be Suicide Squad. But I have a feeling Dark Phoenix will be my underdog to destroy that.
I don't know if that's
Kyle?
an underdog.
Well, I mean, for this fight.
Yeah, I don't know.
His
I
Black Horse.
feel this is for the first round. This is going to be the closest fight.
Yeah, that's,
Oh, yeah,
that's my thing. Like, when I say underdog, I mean,
This is that traditional 8-9 fight.
I think that one's going to be like that one fight where we're going to have like people who have never seen either
Yeah.
movie and know nothing about it that have to listen. Okay,
And
so
have no relation or
yeah, so
feelings towards the people arguing.
yeah, so like that's the big thing for you two who are listening here. The big important thing on this one is it's not if I ask you to be a judge, it's not your personal feelings on it. It's what the people said about the movies that make you
Who
that make
won
you-
the argument?
Who won the
Right.
argument? Not even won the argument.
It's the debate.
It's not even. It's not even the
Yeah, it's a
debate. It's the
debate.
moment of looking at it, going, "Okay, Kyle, you're defending Suicide Squad. Don, you're going as this one. Which movie would, if I had to sit down and watch one, and I don't have a choice in the matter, which one would it be? And that is like obviously the loser of the argument, so the worst one moves on. And that's how a lot of our arguments got weirder and weirder as it went on. So like obviously I'm the deciding. The funny part is like for me is I'm the deciding vote in the end of it all. Like
I don't think for this one you should because your wife is arguing.
will destroy that woman and she knows it. What do you think, Chuckles?
I am not sure because I also have not seen Dark Phoenix yet.
I see. That's where we're all stuck at right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Am I the only one that's seen
like
both?
Suicide Squad was just disappointing because the storyline was just blah.
Well, apparently, Carlos, you're the only one that's seen both. Which one do you think is worse?
I'm going to go with X-Men Dark Phoenix.
That's right.
Basically because of representation of the characters, their original motives, down to the soundtrack, down to the special effects, how cinematic is it? Like how invested you are in the story. I'm gonna say even Suicide Squad had a better pace. Even though they bought their soundtrack, I'm gonna give it to them in terms of at least putting some effort
Everyone
to it.
buys their soundtrack.
Well, Suicide Squad had Will Smith.
Paid. Yeah,
And Viola Davis. So as we described,
Margot Robbie.
Well, hold on. Those two carried that fucking film, and Suicide Squad did not deserve Viola Davis or Will Smith for that film.
That is an Oscar-winning movie.
I will kill you at this moment.
For speaking the truth?
Suicide
You will
Squad-
not silence me, sir.
Wait, Suicide Squad.
I like
Oscar-winning movie?
Suicide Squad.
Suicide
Just to go back
Squad
on
won an
topic,
Oscar.
I know it did, but don't give people ammunition to argue.
Well, and if you go based purely on how many people cosplay from either movie,
Costume.
Okay, it's
Yep.
fucking
That's-
costume.
that's exactly where I was going with
is
this.
an Oscar,
and
sir.
it beats Star Trek, which is kind of weird in some aspects. But
Right.
That's because
going-
people
no.
wanted to fuck Margot Robbie and Jared Leto.
Yeah, and
okay, am I the only one that was attracted to the katana? Because
Oh no, everyone wanted katana. Any weeaboo was with their katana. Don't
Sure.
worry.
It's the Japanese one.
Yes. The one with the katana.
I don't remember the fucking movie.
All right.
I
The one
thought-
with the dot on her
so
mask.
to answer my question again, I'm going to say worst movie because of many factors compared.
Dark Phoenix, yeah.
Dark Phoenix.
All right. So House of the Dead versus Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Here's my thing. I've never seen House of the Dead,
Nope.
but I've definitely seen Mortal Kombat Annihilation,
Yep.
and I can't get rid of that.
yeah, Annihilation was
Hard
Bad.
to watch.
And you know what? It's so bad, it makes what was a mediocre movie in the first Mortal Kombat into a significantly better movie.
You need to watch your damn mouth about Mortal Kombat, the first movie. That was amazing. Reptile did such a great job.
Oh, I was psyched when that movie came out as a kid, watching that in the theaters. That was awesome.
It makes non-bad movies look
I'm
okay.
probably going to be on the other side of the coin on this one.
You think House of the Dead's worse?
I've never seen House of the Dead. I just loved Mortal Kombat Annihilation because like I was probably like 10 or 11 when that came out or something.
Yes, but
and
you
I
have to
remember
get. Oh, you have to remember here, Chuckles. We don't watch this with nostalgia glasses.
No.
We have to go. The worst part for me is I have to go watch every single one of these again and cry myself to sleep.
I probably
I'm sorry,
will
you cut
too.
out.
I have to go back and watch. You can't watch this with nostalgia glasses. That's the important part. You have to go back with this with fresh eyes. So even though Annihilation had like what we looked at Baraka and Centauro and all that stuff, and you're like, then now you go back and think about it. Oh my God, those are so fucking awful to look at, and they hurt my face.
Mother,
So
you're alive.
it definitely didn't stand the
Too bad
age
for
of
you.
time, but
Will not be.
You will die. So bad. So bad.
But I'll leave that one because I've never seen House of the Dead. What about you, Carlos?
I'm going to go.
Wait, have you
being a
seen both
wor-
of them yet?
I've seen both of them. Yes. So we're picking
Well,
out
Carlos,
the
for
worst
some
one.
reason, he's watched everything so far.
So I'm gonna the worst movie overall. I'm gonna give to House of the Dead because of production value alone.
I'm
Production
so
value alone by
scared to
far.
watch House of the Dead now. I'm so fucking scared to watch that movie.
The gun game was better, even story wise. I'll tell you that much.
Oh yeah, no, the game was great.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
well, Mortal
Took a lot of my
Kombat
money.
3.
Yeah, so, but
Mortal Kombat
so
3
if
was
we're-
amazing, which was what
so-
was Annihilation was based off
Yeah.
of. That was amazing.
So staying true to the character, staying true to like some story arc, I'm gonna say that the better movie was Mortal Kombat. So the worst movie, in this comparison, yeah, House of the Dead. Production value.
But
I
House
don't
of the
remember
Dead was so good that it put scenes from House of the Dead in House
Yeah.
of the Dead. But that's not the point. But you believe that that's good. We'll move
So
on.
it sounds like Carlos wants to take House of the Dead.
Because he has to go against Chris for Mortal Kombat. All right, so we'll move on over. We'll talk to you after this, Carlos. We'll move on to Max Payne versus Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh, jeez.
Well, I mean, FMA is going to win this entire thing, so let
Oh, we will see about that, good sir. My pick is still on the other side of the bracket.
Oh, yeah.
This is where we had the problem. We had Death Note versus Full Metal Alchemist at the very
Oh.
beginning. We're like, those are two top-ranked contenders.
Yeah, no,
We
you
need
gotta
to
switch
move
those up.
this.
yeah.
So,
There's so many movies on this list that I haven't seen, and now I realize I'm gonna have to see them.
well, see, at least Max Payne had Mark Wahlberg, okay?
You don't have to see them.
No, I have
actually
to see
recommend
them.
you not see them.
The point of this tournament
Yeah,
is for you
do
not to
yourself a favor
watch
and don't.
these.
If you want to cry and possibly tears of blood, feel free to watch the Netflix adaptation of Full Metal Alchemist. Especially if you love FMA.
Brother.
Why are you here?
Why are you here?
That I have to give it, like, Max Payne is a fantastically shitty movie. I will give it that. And
Max Payne has that camp value.
But it could do such a better. It would have a better fight against like Justice League. Okay, there's too many heavy hitters here over the past past decade that Full Metal Alchemist is going.
Yeah.
FMA is Tyson in his prime.
Yeah.
In this fight, in this matchup, Max Payne not good, but you are not destroying hearts and minds by making a bad Max Payne move. Nobody's that invested in the game world of Max Payne. Good game though it was.
It's where they started with the bullet time. And
Yeah.
they were
Right.
excited
Yeah.
about-
No, the game was really cool, but no one's so like
Oh,
you're
damn,
not.
We never did take any of the Matrix games either. Damn.
Well,
But the Matrix movies were great.
Yeah.
Well,
no. I mean, movies aside, the Matrix
Yeah.
games were genuinely good. Enter the Matrix was
Yeah.
a solid game.
I never
that
played
was
that
fun.
one.
in the top
the
8
point of it
movies,
was-
I don't.
The MMO sucked.
I just don't see Full Metal Alchemist losing this fight.
Yeah, no,
No,
I'm
in the
taking
top
I'm
8,
taking
I
up a
don't
man this
see
one.
FMA having a contender until Dark Phoenix or Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
I see it having I see it. It all comes down to the defending, and that's going to be you versus somebody else, and that's going to be the hard part. It's going to be. Don't we have someone for Max Payne already?
Yeah. we
Oh my
do.
God, you versus Jax. This will be an entertaining argument. If you win, it's going to be say white privilege.
Yeah.
So
That's fine. I mean, FMA didn't get the white privilege it deserved. It got yellow washed, but I'm not going to start yet.
Yeah, let's not
Yeah.
do that yet. We have argued. We have an entire podcast based on this.
We do.
All right, so Carlos,
Pardon?
I'm assuming Full Metal Alchemist is going to be your pick too.
I'm going to concur with it because it.
Hurts.
It'll be a fantastic argument. I cannot wait to see how this
No,
goes.
loathe. You loathe it. You loathe it. It doesn't hurt. You loathe it. You despise even the thought whomever even had the production to do it.
I gotta watch this shit again.
I'm aware.
This hurts.
This is my rage boner.
All right. So the next one, and this is a fight right here. This one I've got to do.
I've never seen the King of Fighter movie.
I know. King of Fighters versus Death Note. So someone told me that they came out with the King of Fighters thing. So like I said, I've been a huge Terry Bogard
Yeah.
fan for years.
And I'll be back.
And bathroom.
Yep.
You're saying Death Note, aren't you?
No, because I can fix Death Note.
So could I, yeah. So, King of Fighters, and like I knew, like they told me it was out, so I downloaded it and I watched it. And on a couple different occasions, I nearly put my hand through the monitor. Like, so that's why I'm taking King of Fighters,
Yeah.
because that was mine put on there, because we put video games on there. So I have King of Fighters, and I'll save all my stuff for that later. Because here's the funny part: my problem with it is it's called King of Fighters, and I actually have to go back and learn the King of Fighters lore Because if you watch King of Fighters, it's technically a Fatal Fury movie, and I'm so confused. And that's where I'll actually have to get into. So I actually have to go backwards and actually learn stuff that I don't know yet.
Yeah, that one's a tough one.
Death Note was bad, but it had Willem Dafoe, so that's difficult.
I'm gonna give it to Death Note because at least King of Fighters gave Ray Park a start.
Wait, what? King of Fighters did not give Ray Parker a start. Fucking Star Wars Episode 1 gave Ray Parker a start.
Wait, this movie came out before, or I thought this movie came out before.
King of Fighters thought it came out after Star Wars Episode 1.
Oh, then I rescind and redact that statement.
Now I have to know which one came out first.
Yeah, right. I think this is going to be a difficult choice. And I think what it's going to come down to is what your history is with each franchise.
Yeah, King of Fighters movie came out in 2009.
Oh, jeez.
It got a 3 on IMDb.
It's so bad that it makes you think it's 20 years older than it was.
What the shit? It got a 61% on Google? Who's fucking chugging fucking bleach?
Oh,
It actually
do
had a
yourself
box
a favor someday. If there's a movie that you think is genuinely terrible,
You guys keep cutting out.
Yeah, you guys do keep cutting out.
Oh, sorry about that.
that may be us leaning away from the mics. But yeah, if you think a movie is bad, go look up the Amazon 5-star reviews for it, and you'll see people that think it's the greatest thing ever and write some of the absolute best reviews. They're incredibly hilarious, and I'm sure for both of these movies, you're gonna find people who think these are great films, and they are Oscar-worthy films. Somehow, someone out there just loves them that much. But I think this is tricky because not because they both have an option. They're both equally terrible. I think because it really is going to depend on the background of the people viewing them, how genuinely terrible they think they are.
What's going on, Jax? I just found out that he was on the show. Move him over here.
Yeah,
That's fine.
no one wants to see my face.
So,
They
well,
can't
no,
see
no, they
that. That's
can't.
only us.
That's me.
Could you block my face?
No.
Well, then
does.
I'm sorry for all the viewers.
No
All
one
right,
can see your
so
face because
Chuckles,
of the
what are you
sound mic.
thinking?
Yeah.
Where are we at?
Oh, still the King of Fighters.
Okay.
What do you think?
I would say that, like, because I know how bad Death Note is going to be when I watch it, I'm going to say Death Note.
Well, here's the fun thing. We don't want you to go watch that. All right? That's the thing about this tournament. Because some people will be the judges, we don't want you to have to go watch that. So don't go watch the movies we're talking about. Especially if I ask you to be a judge on it, because I need you to go in there with a clear mind.
But you haven't asked me to be a judge, so I was planning on watching
Not
all of
yet.
them.
I
We haven't asked
yet.
anyone anything yet.
We haven't asked anybody to be judges yet. Don't worry.
We still don't have all the movies being.
Covered yet. So, I'm still thinking King of Fighters. Carlos?
I'm gonna give it to King of Fighters being the worst.
Here's the thing. I can fix Death Note with like 3 changes. I haven't seen King of Fighters, but I'm pretty sure it's going to take more than 3 changes to fix.
Mostly 3 cup levels. So,
3 cases of beer.
all right. So
All right, Bruce, you give me any movie on this list, and I'll fight for it.
I already did give you one.
I don't have
You
Chuckles on here.
you never
Oh.
confirmed me.
Oh, that was bad. All right, so let's move on to the next one really quick. And oh, jeez.
Oh no, Chuckles, you have Justice League.
Yeah, you have.
Well,
Justice
how appropriate that that's the next one on our list.
League, which is
Sounds good.
Avatar: The Last Airbender versus Justice League.
Hello, Holyfield in his prime.
Yeah.
This is where this gets complicated because I'm telling you right now, like you're right now where you may have Holyfield. With King of Fighters, if I can explain this to you, I definitely have Ali.
Which is fine. For this one, unless Chuckles has an ironclad argument, I don't see Avatar losing. The only way I see Avatar losing is because the person arguing it fails. This movie is just so terribly bad.
Which is Joe.
I know.
I
I'm gonna
think
need a list of rules of what I'm allowed to, how I'm allowed to argue.
No, you can go and argue, and I'll stop you whenever. I'm the moderator.
yeah. I think in this
alright.
case, what
So you
what
can't whip out a
Avatar is working
sidearm?
against it is you've got an established fan base coming in that thinks it didn't do justice to the fan base's expectations. Now, bad movie though it may be, I feel like there is still a case to be made for Justice League being a genuinely bad production.
Oh, there is completely.
It wouldn't be on here if it didn't.
Yeah, well, I don't think this is as cut and dry.
That's where the fun part about this
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
scenario comes into play. Have you seen either one of these movies?
No.
Okay, guess what?
I've
You're
seen
on the
both.
dais.
Yeah, you get to judge.
You're the judge because it's not.
Fantastic.
It's not whether or not you think it's a bad movie. It's their argument.
Right. And
So-
I'm thinking you're going to come at Avatar. Most people will come at it and say, well, this just ruined the series. And I don't think that's a
they're-
strong enough argument.
If they're bad at
I think it'll
debating.
wipe its ass with the series. There's a difference.
Yeah. I that would be
No, we're not going to talk about that.
part
now.
of my
Yeah,
argument,
That'd
but
be a
that
start.
wouldn't be what I would base my argument on. I can destroy Avatar a lot longer than I can destroy Justice League, and I know a lot more about the Justice League than I do
That's
Avatar.
fair. That's fair. I could see the arguments around Justice League being just, yeah, they did a terrible job translating this to film versus you screwed up everything possible about the backstory of
I
this
will say
film.
Justice League had Jeremy Irons. That's
You guys got to talk closer to the mic. You guys are cutting out.
The fuck we are.
I am,
Alright,
I
that's
am
weird.
eating this microphone right now.
no. I'm just curious on why. I think it's just the multiple talking.
Yeah, I think it's.
So, what do you think, Chuckles? Justice League or Avatar?
I am gonna go with Justice League for this.
Of
You
course
you
you
would
are.
have to.
Carlos?
I'm gonna go with Avatar. Simple point is, when you look at its history, Justice League was kind of set up for it. We already kind of knew about this. It's gonna happen. DC doesn't deliver on this. Nevertheless, Avatar: Last Airbender, even the production team, even asked the original creators to be on
We'll finish the
with
bracket.
them, and they didn't listen to them.
We'll pick a World War Z and then say who's gonna win it. Don't go each fight.
What do you mean?
So instead of going who's gonna win Star Wars and
Oh no, I'm done
That
after
one.
this. This is
Yeah.
prelims only. Oh, this is the prelims. This is the first round. That's
that-
all I care about is for first round. All right, so we need to find a replacement for World War Z. Now, here was my thing. I'm torn between either saying the female Ghostbusters, because for some reason that was on here.
it is, but we refuted that because
Yeah,
It's a hot
source
topic.
material didn't come first before the movie.
exactly. So my thing is between these two. Amazing Spider-Man 2
That was mine, so I'm okay with putting that on
or
there.
Superman 4 Quest for Peace.
Oh,
I would say not Superman because we have a Superman on the list already.
Well, that's just Justice League. This is a whole other era of Superman.
Yeah.
I agree.
Hey, could I possibly suggest something completely different?
No.
Maybe.
yes.
Well,
What's your suggestion
Well,
if it's on the list of 50?
okay, I see what you mean. That's why I stopped myself. I'm like, wait, hold on.
I
I
don't feel
have a
hurt.
list of like 40 something freaking movies here that we talked
34.
about. I was like 40 something. Well,
There's 50 on there, but 34 haven't been selected.
yeah. So if it's on here, we'll listen to it. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say Battlefield Earth.
It's
Not on
not
there.
on here. So unfortunately, I cannot. I cannot use that one.
I mean, we could talk for about an hour and a half on how terrible that is, but that's a whole nother episode. That's
the
Dutch
fight is
angles
against
taken
Iron
to the
Man
max.
3.
I'd have
You
to
guys
see
are-
what's
you guys are-
the list, and I
You
can't
guys are
read it
cutting
from
in and
here.
out again.
You're moving it, so you might have jostled your.
Yeah, that happens.
Can you move that to there so I can actually see what's on there?
No.
Well, we already have an X-Men movie on here, so that makes
All
sense.
right, let's take a look. What else? What else?
So
we have
this
on
is
here?
going against Iron Man 3, which is
Well, I just wanna
really
think
bad.
I want to see something that has a chance to win.
That's what I'm looking for.
in general.
You guys had Postal on the list. I like that.
I did not have Postal
I
on
did
that
not
list.
have-
I love that at least made the list.
No. We already have
I-
Dark Phoenix, so Age of Apocalypse, I'd say no.
I want to say
Ooh.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3.
I see a disappointment on there that I don't think has been seen much, and I think would be an interesting candidate based on some of these
Commander?
other movies. No, but I'll put that on a short list.
I love Wing Commander. Go fuck
Howard
yourself.
the Duck.
I feel Howard the Duck, everyone would just go straight into 80s camp and not really take
Oh, I don't think
anything
80s
serious.
camp saves that movie.
I think it does.
All right. That's fair.
We have Ragnarok, so Dark
Yeah.
World, no.
Let's see. I mean, you may be able to make a case. I know you're a Wing Commander fan, but
am.
someone
I
can
was
make
go-
a case for that.
May I make a suggestion?
If it's on the list,
Oh, if it's on the list or if it's not on the
if
list?
it's
If
on,
it's
the,
on the
list,
list.
I see a good one. Go ahead.
I was gonna say Battlefield Earth.
We already. Do you not listen? That's already been said.
Chuckles already said Battlefield Earth.
I would throw Blood Rain on that list.
The reason we didn't is because no one knows the source material enough to argue it.
Oh, it had potential. It was a cool premise.
It was, but no one
A
knew
very
this-
silly premise, but a cool
no
one.
one knew it enough to argue it, which is the same
Knew which
reason why
one?
we're getting rid of World War Z.
FF Spirits Within.
Wait, I know
that's a
World
good
War
choice.
Z.
Wait, you know the original source material, not the movie, the original
Yeah,
source
like
the book.
like the Maya Brooks. Yeah.
You've read it
Brooks?
recently.
I can't speed read it again.
If you're willing to come on and defend it, I'll leave it here.
Toss it to a vote. I'm
I'll
willing
leave it,
to.
our problem, the only reason we were getting rid of it was because we had nobody who knew.
I didn't want to reread the book.
I didn't want to reread the book either.
I didn't care for the book enough to want to go back and read it again.
I can vividly remember the book, and I'm gonna tell you if you guys ever played Player Unknown Battlegrounds.
Yeah, we don't
Nope.
talk about that.
Pardon?
No one has.
Yes.
Okay. Well, basically,
Don't
the
admit
book
that.
is a premise to a almost non-hypothetical what if, and it's literally like done in the same premise as his dad's informative books. It's almost like a Boy Scout book.
Hey, Carlos,
Yes.
I'm gonna put this very gingerly. Would you come on this and defend and say that movie is worse than Iron Man 3?
I would because I'm appalled.
Then Carlos,
You know what?
congratulations. You have just kept World War Z on this story.
There we go.
And you are now on the docket for that to go against Iron Man 3.
When do I have to do this again?
I have no clue.
Start
Okay.
reading.
Start reading
Yeah.
now.
So I have to relearn how to read in English. Okay,
Yes.
thanks.
World War Z has an audio book, I'm just saying.
He can do that too.
Yeah, no, that's fine because
All
it's
right.
still the same source material.
So our
Iron Man 3 wins.
Okay, I'm gonna go back and look for my old book.
Okay, from my bias, Iron Man 3 wins. That's because I'm a comic guy.
Oh yeah,
So
same.
Iron Man 3 wins.
World War Z has Brad Pitt.
Iron Man 3 has fucking Robert Downey Jr.
And
I'm
Ben
gonna.
Mendelsohn.
If I'm going to actually argue this, I'm going to save my argument.
yeah,
I would hope so.
Which is the appropriate way of doing this.
You are arguing this. Your name is already written in blood.
Wait,
Not
whose
your
blood?
blood, mind
Don't
you.
worry about it. It's a.
We have a blood boy that we.
It's
No,
on the
I'm okay.
iPhone.
I donate blood, but not my own. But I get the premise.
It's on the iPhone. That's close
Yeah.
enough to blood.
It's written in blood. You have no choice now.
It's written on Apple's.
Well, we're gonna move on and stop talking
Is
about
it?
blood.
Is it
TES.
stronger than Apple contract?
Carl, yeah,
Stronger.
it's Kyle's contract. So you're on it, and we'll get you your opponent at some point because we don't have anybody for that yet.
Iron Man
I feel sorry for them in
3
advance.
is Bullheimer.
Oh, you got Iron Man.
Oh.
You got Bullheimer. Never mind.
All right, that's going to be a fun
That's
argument
gonna
to
be
watch.
a fun one. I'm gonna
Who's
enjoy that.
Bullheimer again?
You haven't met he was on the bowling team. You met him
Yeah.
once.
Okay.
Go back a couple episodes in the podcast.
Yep, you'll find him. All right, Chuckles, World War Z or Iron Man 3?
Iron Man 3.
You're gonna have your work cut out for you on this one, but I have faith in you. You guys are gonna have like an hour apiece just to talk. It's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna love these casts so much.
Oh yeah.
We'll see.
Can we sit in front of each other?
If,
for the most part-
but if you live close enough to come over, yes.
Yeah, I'm coming down there.
I think we only have one person on the list right now that will
Two.
have to.
Two. Chuckles and Freed.
Oh, yeah. No, Chuckles is driving in. It's written in blood here too.
I'm not taking that drive again.
It's like 7 hours.
You got it. All right.
Maybe
Apple
9.
Eula says,
But
Dude,
not
you
have
got
to show up
7
for
hours
podcasts.
amount of feasible defense.
But not the point. All right. So the next one, and because Iron Man 3 is considerably favored in this one, is going to be Thor Ragnarok versus Transformers The Last Night. Now, here's the thing about Thor Ragnarok. We hated it.
Thor in the Technicolor Dreamcoat.
We hated it so much that it's on here. There's so many people that will debate that
Yes.
Yeah.
and
And
why
my buddy-
we dislike it. And
But
those,
he's already signed up to defend it.
those people are wrong. So
Oh yeah. But he has a
but-
hard on for Transformers, so that's going to be fun to watch.
But Transformers The Last Night was so fucking bad. We sat down when we went to the theaters. We bought the extra large. Like usually
I
we'll
enjoyed it so much. I enjoyed it way more than I should have.
yeah, but it was
I
like
saw
this,
Transformers in Texas.
no. Last night was
I
with,
saw last night in Texas.
last night was with me and
No,
Chris.
no, it was not. Last night is the one where it's King Arthur's court. I saw that in Texas.
yeah.
What? Oh, Extinction. That was
Sure.
it.
Yep.
No, it was the 3-hour one that you and me sat down through. I was thinking the one after that. My bad.
This is the last one they ever released,
Yeah, that we saw
other than Bumblebee.
because we watched the 3-hour one where they went from like half English to half to Chinese. It was you, me,
Yeah,
and
give or
Chris.
take.
Yeah, it was Extinction. That was it. Then Last Night came out after that. We sat. We usually like split popcorn and we got like an extra tub. We was like, this is 3 fucking hours long. We need to sit here and eat. And it was. Extinction was bad.
I can't wait to see the argument on this one because I see a very clear winner already in my head.
My
Then
friend,
say it out loud.
Oh, I'm gonna worst movie?
Yeah.
The Last Night. I mean, even on the premise of who used Anthony Hopkins best.
I like that. I like that as a basis for an
Ragnarok did
argument.
a good job of using it.
Who used Anthony Hopkins best?
Yeah, that's a good one.
And basically, and also, who was a propaganda for the Chinese government?
Oh God, this will be fun.
Yeah,
Chuckles, who are you thinking?
I'm gonna say Transformers Last Night.
Oh boy.
bias alone, I have to go Ragnarok.
Even without bias alone, I still fucking hated.
And I'm going purely based on what I've heard discussions, because again, I haven't seen either of these. Lucky
look.
me, right?
Welcome back to the dais.
Yeah, right. So
Yeah,
I feel like I could judge most of these.
And
Because
you
I haven't seen
probably
them.
will.
That's fine.
I've
I love
seen-
standing in front of a microphone.
You and Bird.
Yeah, you know I love
haven't
sitting
seen
here
Max
making some
Payne.
color commentary.
See,
The
the,
only one I
reason
haven't
I
seen was
chose
Max Payne.
Transformers
One at a
Last Night,
fucking
though,
time, you two.
Rabble.
Chuckles, go ahead.
the reason I chose Transformers Last Night is because I've heard a lot of bad things about Transformers Last Night, but I actually did enjoy Thor Ragnarok. Like, as a standalone movie, I thought it was a fun movie.
You and most people, but you're wrong.
Yeah, of course.
That's kind of where I have a feeling this is going to end up. Is you can make a stronger argument against Transformers.
And this is where but honestly, this is where it comes into play of a non-biased
Yeah.
bias.
Yeah.
That's why we had to get one.
Right.
Me and Kyle will be present to fact check you the
Yeah.
entire time, because we've seen all these fucking movies.
Right.
Just
Or will have.
Just going based purely on how I've heard people describe the two movies, I have a feeling that there aren't going to be enough people that can make a case for here's why Ragnarok was okay. Not great, but okay.
Oh, my buddy Will. He loved Ragnarok.
We have
which
too
is-
many people that loved Ragnarok, but as comic nerds, we will fight it left and right.
Oh yeah, sure. From a source material standpoint,
This one will come down to the argument.
yeah, that I
This one-
genuinely think that one is going to be.
This one does not have a clear-cut winner for an unbiased panel.
Correct. I have to say, for me, Ragnarok was worse.
Who used Anthony Hopkins?
I
Who used
didn't.
Hopkins the best?
I didn't enjoy it.
No, I almost walked out.
Mom loved it. That's why I didn't go anywhere.
That's why I didn't go anywhere.
You gotta love Mom. But that's about it. Like, literally, I just didn't like anything about it. And the source material aside, as soon as I saw the Hulk, I was pissed. I was even more mad. But that's something completely different. But for this, I think this is a good closing time for us to call the cast to an end. Unless you have something.
Final look at the bracket. Who wins? If you're going to call it right now, do you think the movie you're arguing for the four of us and for the unbiased that hasn't seen anything, take a shot in your March Madness Dark, who wins?
May I ask?
Well, here's the thing with that. I still have to figure out how the semifinals, quarterfinals, and the finals are going to work. Because obviously at that point, the people have heard the arguments. I want to figure out how we're going to argue those towards the end. Because before it was like, okay, we have
make the panel watch.
We haven't. Yeah, that was my thing. And we have you guys watch, and then like everyone then argues their thing, and they have to listen. Like, so you'll know what I'm talking about. Like, I'll sit you down with me, and I'll show you what King of Fighters is supposed to be, and then I'll show you what it's not, and then I'll sit you down with Avatar: The Last Airbender, and we'll watch the first fucking season, and then I'll show you the movie. And like, this is where the problem is.
We have the judges then become the debaters.
Not even the debaters at that point. We keep their thing, and they just look at it and go, well, you have a point. I watched yours. You have a point. I didn't notice this, but they now have an idea, and like they hate me as much as you guys hate me because you have to watch this shit. And I hate myself.
I already hate you for the last time you did this, and I had to watch Fantastic Four.
That was so great. 2015.
Yeah.
Overall, I think honestly, King of Fighters has a fantastic chance of winning. It's going to. If I had to pick my final match, it will be King of Fighters versus Full Metal Alchemist, because I'm already taking out my strongest opponent on my side of the bracket, which is Death Note.
I've got to go FMA because I think my strongest opponent is going to be Suicide Squad.
On your side of the bracket.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh yeah. And then I believe it'll come down to you and me, and then later. But when it comes down to the finals, I don't think I'm going to have that where it's going to be. I'm going to have as many people sitting here as I can, where it's not going to be just you and me arguing. We'll start it, and then people will chime in the most they can. Don, who you think's got it?
All right, so based on the myriad of movies I haven't seen on that list, if I have to shot in the dark pick,
There's the list if you need a.
if I'm gonna shot in the dark pick this, I'm going FMA.
Yes.
Carlos?
So the parameters are, just to be clear, which movie completely negatively impacted a large number of people?
No. I said which movie do
By
you
no
think is
means.
the worst movie on that film?
Yeah,
That's
no, this
it.
is as
Don't
subjective
don't
as
even
possible.
Oh, you guys cut out. Sorry.
Eric Bana Hulk could have the best argument and persuade the judges through all 5 rounds and win. It's possible. That's a Cinderella story and not going to happen.
Sure.
But it's possible. It's shot in the dark. Do you think your World War Z that you're going to be arguing can take it to the finals, or do you think something else is going to take you out?
If I'm stating the premise and with no guidelines and nothing, and I'm able to literally, utterly, just show you the loss and the waste of time and everything else in it, then yes, I'm gonna say yeah. I have a lot of premises from political to product placements, everything else, and yeah, I'm gonna pick mine.
Chuckles, what do you think?
There's a lot of movies on there that I haven't seen yet. I know I can definitely argue my case for Justice League, but my money still goes with the Last Jedi being the worst movie on this list. If we're putting our own biases into it,
I can respect that.
Yeah.
No, I respect the shit out of that.
Absolutely.
This is going to be Jax, I don't know if you're still listening. Which one? I'll give you to the end of me talking here. But this is going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight.
Yeah, and major props on this bracket. This is I like this bracket.
The first bracket. I think the first bracket. I want to take Dragon Ball Evolution versus whoever wins here.
There's 2 movies not being defended right now or attacked. House of the Dead has no one, and Hulk Banner. There's the only 2 movies we need to.
That's fine. Who do you think's taking it all, Jax? Who do you think's taking it all? Buddy, I'm glad you're here still. But yeah, that's the big thing right here. Like it's going to be a knockdown, drag out.
Yeah, oh yeah. This is going to be outstanding.
Death Note.
Austin.
I can't hear you guys.
I'm gonna fight Austin. All right, this is gonna be fun.
That's some confidence over there.
No, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be entertaining.
Yeah.
Austin is the guy that got us the beat for the music, so this is gonna be entertaining.
Yeah,
Glad
and
he's gonna be here.
I think you can throw me in as a judge on a lot of these because there's a lot I
That
haven't
was
seen.
the plan.
And then for every one that Bruce is in, I become moderator, unless it's me versus Bruce.
It'll get there. It'll get there.
I want to thank, start off the top here. Thank you, Chuckles and Carlos, for coming by. I was happy here. FMA is a beast of fucking stupid.
But you have to tell me why FMA is better than Max Payne. You just lost.
This will be good. But let me go ahead and
Screenshotting it.
Too late, motherfucker.
He got the picture.
I couldn't
He got the
use my
picture.
alt tab fast enough. But I want to thank everyone for coming by and talking to us. Don, thank you for coming.
Absolutely.
Carlos, thank you for coming. Thank you for joining the conversation. Chuckles, thank you again. I'll let you both know in plenty of time to go ahead and watch your opposing movie and this movie. And I will be watching them with you. And
As will I.
it's going to hurt. It's going to be painful.
Thanks for having me, dude.
Oh, you're gonna come over to my place?
Or you're gonna come to mine. My alcohol's here, and I'll be much more drunk than you are.
That's true.
Yeah, it's gonna be really hard. I want to say anybody who would listen to this, please follow our Twitch on twitch.tv/ComicClowns on our podcast here, and
If you
follow us on
want to defend House of the
Dead.
Dead or Hulk Banner, let us know.
But find us on Facebook as well. Like our page, follow our stuff. Find us on Podbean. Find us on everything, and please just.
Don't let yours be out in the cold this winter. Subscribe.
If you're cold, they're cold.
What's up, Carlos?
Bring 'em in.
How do you? If I'm on Amazon right now, how am I able to do that?
You got to go to our
You
page.
actually have
If
to
you
do
go
it through Twitch.
Yep.
Yeah.
You go onto Twitch, and there's a little purple button. You click on the button, and it comes. You get a little drop down, and you can click on Amazon Prime subscription, and it's free $99.
Free 99, baby.
Yep.
Oh, and there it is.
Ooh, there's a sound I like to hear.
There it is. That's beautiful. Thank you, Carlos. That's always helpful to us. And I think that right there, I'll go ahead and I'll call it for the night. Don, go ahead and plug all your shtick.
Yeah, plug my. I need to use it more often. Twitch and Twitter at ConusSmash. That's where you can find me.
Also, your company, Digital Cocoa Inc.
Yeah, all right, we can throw that in there too. I haven't been advertising it for the past 2 hours right here on my hat, but yes, Digital Cocoa for all your
read that.
graphic
Black
design,
on black
marketing,
engagement.
and technology needs.
No one can also read it on the podcast when they listen.
That too. You need a shirt.
You can't see images when you listen to a podcast.
Don't you look at me in that.
Not yet.
All right. Carlos, Chuckles, you guys have anything you want to plug?
Yeah, if anybody's interested in like learning anything more about Final Fantasy XIV, check out She Heals I Tank on Twitch. They do a podcast live every Friday, and you can download them on Twitch, on Podbean, and any of the others. So
Awesome. Follow us on Podbean, subscribe on everything. This is Bruce War Chief Hoover.
Don Conus Macaluso.
I was Kyle.
And we'll see you guys next time.